All right, we're back. Judd'z Budz, episode 161. Wayne Gretzky plus, I think, Stephen Fogarty wore 62 a couple years ago when he got a sniff a couple games. Anyways, doesn't really matter. As always, your host, C, joined by my good buddy, Mr. at State of Hoppy. Hoppy, how we doing? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. It actually, though, brings me to a topic that I feel needs to be addressed for just everyone. I can't imagine anyone would disagree with this take. Mother's Day and Father's Day need to be swapped.
Okay. I'm listening.
Mother's Day was this past weekend.
Oh boy, that was a bit. You're lagging. Holy mother of Christ.
I am?
Mm-hmm.
It says all my internet's good. Oh no. I paused. I don't know. We'll find out. If I keep lagging, you let me know, I guess.
Oh, it's bad. This is funny. It's fun.
Maybe I'm just gonna leave and come back in then.
Sounds good. Well, I mean, we don't have any. The good thing is no one's here. There we go. All right, so he's gonna leave. He's gonna come back. I'm taking bets on why he would like to swap Mother's Day and Father's Day. It's very interesting to me. I have no idea what he's gonna come back with, but I'm going to be fascinated. Speaking of, shout out to all. Happy birthday to all the mothers. I love saying that. People hate it. They don't think it's funny, but I do, because I think pretty much anything I think is funny, no one else really does, but you know, that's fine. Flyer Voracek, it looked like Hoppy had the insight of Socrates coming for a while. He did freeze right when he was just like mid-thought, which I'm sure was going to be something incredibly profound. And the longer we have to wait for him to come back, the anticipation's building. If I disagree, that is really going to suck. I really hope he hits me with something that blows my mind here. Really makes the show, starts it off hot, because I'm like dying. Shocking, I'm always dying. Carl Hagelin, number 62, didn't play for Minnesota, though Cosgrove, but fair enough. What a fucking sneaky career, though. Like, couple cups, just made himself useful, valuable, whatever team he was on. He was key in those Pittsburgh Cups, too. I think he scored one of those power play goals against Washington in game like 5 or 6 in that second cup. And he's back. Let's see. A little better.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So, well, no, fishing opener is definitely part of it, Cosgrove, as he chimes in and right away says fishing opener, I guess, is his argument. No, but also by Father's Day, there's a way lower likelihood of any sports being on TV too. Like right now, like there's 2 Stanley Cup playoff games that like can't really be watched because you get stabbed. So it's really around sports. It's nicer weather, so I don't know why the Wives would be upset about it being in June. Plus, the Wives then get to I don't know. I'm really going to lean on the sports and fishing opener. We'll leave it at that.
Fair enough. I like that.
I don't know why anyone would disagree.
Yeah, no. Anyone that breaks the pitchforks out, that's be a really not weird, wild.
I would like to know if there's like a counter argument to it.
Yeah, I want like I want an aggressive like disagreement. Like someone's like, "Oh, you son of a bitch!" Like, because there will be someone out there with the very angry disagreement.
The only way I can see like someone disagreeing is if it's like a couple where like the wife is super into sports too, or the wife gets like jacked up about fishing opener, and like they're like, "No, just leave stuff alone. We're used to it now. Stop." Also, for me, selfishly, that's right. I forgot. My other argument was it'd be nice if Father's Day came first, because that's like a subtle nudge and reminder, like, oh, hey, by the way, get prepared for Mother's Day. You know?
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Needs to be said.
Yeah. No, yeah, I hear you on that one. I actually sneaky. That might be the best part of that, to be honest with you.
The Flyer Voracek nailed it.
Yeah, there we go.
During the Masters, you know that Masters weekend is like the number one weekend for vasectomies?
Oh, didn't know that one. I'll be honest with you. That's a fun fact I did not have.
Straight up, just
radar,
like, sitting on the couch, frozen peas. I get to watch the Masters all weekend, and no one can say anything about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're gonna jump right in on Stanley Cup playoff talk because we got our guest jumping in here right off the hop. Zach Phillips coming back, and Zach, I don't know, man. This is. Do you
open mic? Just go ahead.
This is your therapy couch. Go.
Okay, well, you guys invited me, and this was a couple days ago, and I was excited to come back. And then as it got closer and closer, I was less and less excited to see Z's face as we have to talk about this and what's going on. So that was the starter. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna tell these guys I'm sick, I'm under the weather, I don't know if I can make it today. But no, I'm here to face the music. I'm here to talk about it.
Do you even need to face the music though, man? Like, it's 2-2.
2-2.
Yeah, the thing though is where it's like a weird feeling in Leafs Nation is not the fact that it is 2-2, it's the way they lost that game last night. Like
that's what stood out. Yeah.
That was prototypical, like Leafs playoff. Marner, Matthews don't get to the dirty areas, don't play the physical game, and it was like, well, you didn't score goals, your goalie was unreal, your defense was good, and you lost 2-0. And it's like, well, you weren't that far out, so you probably shouldn't overreact, and it's 2-2, but like, oh, it felt sickening, boys, to lose that game. Like, I have my head in my hands watching. And my roommate, my girlfriend, they're like, it's like one goal. Like, you're only down one. They're only down 1-0. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, this is deja vu right now.
It was like game 4 in particular to me was just like Florida put on a fucking 60-minute clinic of why they suck to play against, especially in the playoffs. Like all 4 forward lines have a job. They do unbelievably well. Somehow they make every fucking defenseman come in and skate like 20 miles an hour faster, hit harder. Like fucking they have Kulikov out there flying around them like Jesus Christ. And then goalie Bob was just dialed. I mean, I think even with like the lack of offense from Toronto, they still had like, I think they had like 2 shorthanded, like 2-on-1s breakaways and Bob just shutting the door. But like game 4 was the one where it just felt like, like, and it was honestly less to do with Toronto. I felt like it was just so much more about Florida, especially with those guys who were like missed a ton of time before the playoffs. They're like all fucking 4 forward lines are clicking right now. Like that Marchand, Luosterainen, and Lundell line is now their like most used line. And like they can just do everything. Now the points are coming for them too. But Florida, I just don't get how they keep fucking doing this. They make like on paper, you look at them, and they're like, that guy's like 39 years old. And all of a sudden he's like best shape of his life. Ekblad's fucking roided out of his mind. He looks like shit. But yeah, I just don't know how they fucking do this. Every year, last 3-4 years.
Man, you know what the most like insane part of this was to be expected, but is driving Leafs fans up a wall right now. Brad Marchand is like the Florida Panthers' best player basically through 4 games here right now. And it's like we finally have a way to escape this guy. The Bruins finally don't make the playoffs when we do. So there's no possible chance of a collision course. We get Brandon Carlo, like you add these people, and it's like Brad Marchand goes to Florida. Of course, you're going to have to run through these guys. Not only is he just on the team, but he was honestly, I think in games 1 and 2, probably their best player. Scores the OT winner in game 3. I think at that point, like you started to see the rest of the guys picking up and catching up to the pace that he was on. And then, but it's like you said, like using the usage of that line, the situations Paul Maurice is putting them out there in. And the one thing too that happened in the last game, and like Z, to your point, where it's like more so Florida's side, I think that's what's kind of scary to Leafs fans here, though, being like, you gave them the opportunity to wake up to let it get to 2-2. Where like you had control, and even in game 3, like they played really, really well. It went to OT, but it was like you could tell Florida was just slightly off, and then it was like, are you fucking kidding me? Game 4 was like it clicked on all cylinders for them. They found everything going at the same time. And like that's the thing that's scary, was just like that was the one where they were 100% dialed, and you're sitting here just going like, we couldn't have just we couldn't have just like gotten the third win and been going back 3-1 or had a chance to go up 4-0 in that game last night. Like that's the one where it's like, man, we let them get in it. And goalie Bob too, like he hadn't been playing his best hockey. Well, that game last night was dialed in, and now all of a sudden you're going, is he going to be able to just build off of this?
Ace here. Are you more worried about Bob's performance now, or more happy about Wall's performance?
This has been a script with Toronto in the past, though, dude. Like those losses specifically, it happens the same way every time. Where it's like, oh, good, we got the fucking goalie to stand on his head for 60 fucking minutes, but we couldn't score one goddamn goal. Look, it happens. I feel like that's just like how they lose these specific games.
I'm gonna go flip side of this. Does it make you optimistic or pessimistic that it's 2-2 and it's been a pretty balanced series so far? And Austin Matthews has been a no-show.
Okay. This is the issue. I now, like after that last night, I have zero faith. Not like 0.5%. Zero faith, boys, that Matthews has any way to impact this series offensively. Like actually zero. I keep hearing all this shit about, oh, look at him playing defense. Look at his 200-foot game. Like the guy makes $13.25 million fucking dollars. And to this point, he's not shown us that he could do that here in the playoffs through 9 years. So now in a season that he has a career low in goals scored, he went to a different continent to get something fixed, and we didn't even know. He was in Germany for like weeks. We didn't even know. This guy's in Germany mid-season. What was the last time you heard of a player leaving and going to a different continent?
Like a Toronto Maple Leaf, too. That's
the captain of the team.
Usually Steve Simmons is in the back of the same plane, like, oh, this motherfucker, I got you down. Hey, did you have COVID, by the way? Jesus Christ.
Good point. Now, you mentioned that, the captain, though.
Yeah.
Do the Maple Leafs just have to never have a captain again?
Seriously.
Like, Tavares looks, I mean, granted, there's been times where he hasn't looked as good, but like this season has been resurgent for him. Matthews hasn't been awesome. Do you just have like 4 A's instead?
Kids it to like, Willie.
I was going to say the same
Willie's
thing.
give a fuck meter is like -75, and he's
That's
the one
point.
guy. It's the way that the script has flipped, where it's just like 5 years ago, it was Willie's just soft. Like he's not gonna be able to handle. He's gonna be a big guy in the playoffs. And like since that year that he missed the first however many games, signed that contract, he's the one motherfucker that's been like worth every fucking penny they've given him, postseason 100%. And regular season. Like that guy doesn't give a fuck. And like Kachuk's like, I'm gonna break your neck next game, and Willie's like, all right, whatever. I don't really care. Like he will not give a fuck about that at all. Like he's going to produce. Like it's just what he does. It's insane.
That's the one thing I thought was funny. I guess you agree. I just like, I saw him going at them. Kachuk, going at the Leafs bench, and then I didn't know who it was that he was yelling at. And then they're like, he's yelling at Nylander, like, I'm gonna get you. I was like, of all the guys you could have picked, that was the one that it matters the absolute least. Like Leafs fans today, some people don't get me started on which ones they're having like I can't believe this guy's yelling, he's gonna get him. Shut the fuck up. It's playoff hockey. This is what happens. I was just looking at it like that's the guy you want him yelling at, because Nylander is literally looking at that and just being like, okay, and
catch me. You literally can't even fucking like you literally will not be able to catch me. Like it's
like
fine.
If that was Marner or Matthews, I would be probably being like, series over. Like you might, for those guys at least, like you might as well not even dress them next game. You're gonna see every time Marner's on the ice, he's looking over his shoulder. It's like, where is this guy? Willie, it does not matter. Like that was the guy. If you're a Leafs fan, where it's just like, okay, oh, you got them going, and he's calling out Nylander. Like that guy doesn't give a shit. And Matthew Nyes, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen the clip from today. he's like leaning over Nylander's back, being
he
like,
was,
"Come
he
through
was
me."
literally like salivating, dude. He
Yeah.
was just like, "I will murder you." Well, I was like, "Holy shit,
Yeah.
this guy is a sick puppy, dude." Oh my god,
I love him so much. Now,
It's
Yeah.
the best.
you've commented on the social medias.
Yeah.
Is Marner gone? Like, is there any number that you will be content with him returning, or are you just like, I don't want him?
Sub 12.
So
Like,
yeah, you don't
any-
want him back.
No, and he's not going to take that. My honest thing, and it's hard to do because it's a little bit different. I get it, especially like, look, I don't want to do the state taxing, but it is a little bit different because of that. Like the Rantanen number is slightly different than what it is here, so I do understand that. But I would legit just be like, if he comes to you with anything over that, I would just like hold Mikko Rantanen's playoff stats and just be like, oh, like this is what you're saying. This is what you want to be paid for. Like, this is what you do. Oh, okay. Never mind. Like, here's your numbers. 0 shots on goal in the last 2 games.
That was
Mitchell.
that to me specifically. I was like, that can't be correct. And then I was like, you know what? It feels right now that I think about it. Jesus Christ.
I don't know, man. I would honestly just be like, it's Max Mikko, and if you want more money, which he can get and he will get, someone's gonna pay it. I'd just be like, okay, like go get that money then. Enjoy it. That's best of luck to you.
Yeah. It feels it is the thing with him though, too. You just know wherever he ends up next, I'm sure then the playoff numbers will be fucking like.
Yeah.
It just feels like wherever it's just like I don't know what it is about the Toronto. I mean, it's a ridiculously hard market to play in, obviously, but like especially as a fucking Toronto kid who's like a skilled, less than 6 foot tall winger who doesn't like throw 10 hits a game. It's like you better be fucking 3 points a game in the playoffs, or they will roast you. Like it is insane there. I just have a funny feeling if he ends up like in a quieter market, which is like, I don't know, 31
Most
other
of them.
markets are quieter. Like it just feels like wherever that is, like it feels like his playoff numbers will probably jump. But like specifically on game 4, though, it did feel obviously like deflating if you're Toronto, just the way that the game went. But it had like part of it had to have been giving up, like going shorthanded 4 times in the first was it the first period? They had 4 penalties.
Yeah.
Like you just cannot get anything going if you're spending almost half the period on the PK. And I mean, like, I think only one of them ended up in that first Florida goal. I think it was like the last fucking
The last one, the Ekman
OEL that he
Larson
threw over the glass.
Yeah.
It like that was the thing. It was just like they can't even get started here. And once you go down 1-0 in Florida against that team, like all they do is play north-south, and like they're gonna hit everything that moves. I don't even know how the Rodriguez thing happened, because it's like, wait, did he get hit in the face? Like I can't even like he was like, and he didn't come back in the game. I was like, what happened to him? It's so confusing. But it just felt like they just never got going, and then Florida is just starting to feel it, which is terrifying for anyone. But that definitely did not help, like starting in a hole like that. I gotta think.
Well, and the other thing with those penalties too, that like again, I get why, like a lot of times I get why people get so pissed off at Leafs fans. Like I'm seeing these people online saying like, we lost the game because of the refs. Like, come on, those 4 penalties were deserved. I mean, you look at the Domi one, it was a clear high stick. You got to be more careful with your stick there. He goes to one hand like windmill over Kachuk's head, smokes him in the visor 20 feet from the ref. I'm like, well, that's going to be a penalty. Then the second one was the McMahon one, which was the only one. And like the way I was trying to word it last night, like when I was doing the post game, is like, I don't disagree that it was a penalty, but I could have seen an argument on either side. And part of it was because it came like just over a minute and a half after Marchand like obliterated Tanev in the open ice. And in my mind, like I wasn't on the couch yelling like that's a penalty. But in my mind, when the McMahon one happened, I was kind of like, it felt like you kind of just set the precedent that like that play was not bad. So then I was like, I could have seen that one not being called. I was kind of like pissed, like just being like, okay, I don't know where the officiating is going to go from here kind of thing, but whatever, like it is a penalty. It is what it is. And then the Nyes one, Stick in the hands, it's a hooking penalty. Bang, you're going to the box. OEL, you shoot the puck over the glass. It's a penalty. Like, you don't have anything to complain about here. You just did stupid shit to open this game. And on top of that, like, you were chasing the game already, even though you weren't down yet. Like, that the Panthers were already bringing it to you. And rather than having that pushback that you had in the past couple of games where it was like, you punch us, we'll punch you. They were just like, we can't catch you right now. And we are backs against the wall 5 minutes into the game. Like that was how they started. And that was deflating as well. I was sitting there watching being like, if they don't get the first one, this thing could be lights out, because exactly what you guys have outlined here. Like, Florida basically was just like, up one, north, south, you're not getting anything. We are going to put you through the glass.
What's the difference maker going into game 5? Like, if Toronto comes out and takes over that game, why will that happen?
Drastically better play from the bottom 6. They got thumped in the minutes that they played. And like, I don't think that the bottom 6 has the ability to beat them, like win the minutes against the Marchand line. Let's put it that way. But you can't get your teeth kicked the way that you did in the last game. And in game 3, you could start to see it elevate a little bit more in that one there as well. So like, you got to try to negate that a little bit. Like, you're not going to win them. They are just better than you, but you gotta cool that down. The Domi, McMahon, Holmberg line, they have been atrocious. Like, there's no other way to put it. They're borderline unplayable. Not even just one guy, just the combination of the three of them. You can't put them. Berube has tried to put McMahon in different spots up and down the lineup on power plays. Like, it's not working. He can't find it. He can't figure it out. Domi is trying to impact games, and then you see him going and parading to the box and getting fined for these hits on Barkov. Like, just shit like that. They just can't find their way to get anything going. I don't know. I suspect Nick Robertson probably comes back here. Wouldn't be surprised if David Kampf. But to me, like, the first thing is the bottom 6 being a lot better. I think that changes a lot, because it kind of just alleviates pressure throughout the rest of the lineup. And in games 1 and 2, they were a lot better than what you saw in games 3 and 4, where there was a steep drop off. So that's where I start. The other thing would be ideally above 900 save percentage from your goaltender, who he played unbelievable last night, but in game 3, like, if he's a little bit better, you probably win that game. And I'm not going to blame the game on him, because there was some dumb shit that the Leafs did in that one to cause that, but just like a little bit better, and you probably win that one, or just at least have a better shot. So those are kind of like the big things. Obviously, the big boys are the big conversation, but I think for me, that's where it starts.
I think that's fair.
And have they like stuck with that like 5-forward power play unit like consistently the whole season? Like, I mean, we talk about it in Minnesota. It drives us fucking crazy, especially when they refuse to play Zeke William in the playoffs, because you just can't play a young defenseman. We don't fucking know why, but it is what it is. Because, like, I mean, it does make looking at it, I feel like if they were even to bother switching, they're going to fucking go with Morgan Riley at the top. And I was like, OEL, just go with, I feel like OEL's probably a better option. He gets shots through. Like, he can do that. He's did it in fucking Florida last year. But they've stuck with that 5-forward unit pretty much consistently here, right?
Yeah. So the first couple months they had Morgan Riley on it, and it was really bad to start. So then they made the switch, and then like they had Nyes go out there. They had Marner go to the top of it, and then they pretty much have stuck to that since. There was game 1, I want to say, of this series. I think they were 0 for 5 on the power play in game 1, which just goes unnoticed because they played so well elsewhere in the game. They switched for, I think, like two of the 5 power plays, Morgan Riley to the top of that unit, and it wasn't injury based. And then they abandoned it and went back. It's the wrong guy. You're 100% right. It's OEL who's got to be there. He's just more of a threat from the point than what Morgan Riley is. I think Morgan Riley telegraphs things way too much. It's just frustrating because it's a very predictable power play. And when Morgan Riley goes out there to change anything, it's just the exact same. Like, he goes out there, he won't shoot the puck. If he does, it's not like he's got some bomb that he's firing away and it's like, oh man, we can't let this guy shoot. Like, the penalty kill doesn't have to be like respecting that too much, that shot to come in and be a threat from the point. So they can play it a little bit different because Marner's shot front through, not dangerous. Morgan Riley's not dangerous. And then you look at those guys, and if you get any type of offensive opportunity or like any type of transition game going the other way, you might be able to capitalize on these guys. And it has been a dagger. There were 2 shorthanded goals scored in that series against the Senators. Like, they were able to capitalize on some big moments. I would have OEL out there. I trust him more defensively. I think he'd probably be better running that power play. Like, Morgan Riley hasn't even been that great offensively this season. I mean, he's got 4 goals in the playoffs, but even with that, it's not like I think he's been like some dominant offensive force. Yeah, it would be Ekman Larson to me that should go up there.
Oh, and I'm going to take KJ's question from the chat, and I'm going to spin it a little bit, which we could go on forever about who has the bigger baggage, Leafs or Wild fans. Who is more perplexed by Z's favorite astronaut apparently being good at hockey again out in Edmonton? And sorry, the backstory to that is pretty much anytime we ever talked about John Klingberg, it's about how he's just in outer space and has no fucking clue where he is on the ice.
Okay. I love when he floats off. Literally the play is going this way and Klingberg's like gliding the other way. He's like, oh shit. It's great. Yeah, I love it.
He does have a little bit of the one of my good buddies when I was growing up had this where you look at him and you're like, you're there, but you're not really there. Sometimes I look at Klingberg on the ice, I'm like, holy shit, that guy's in the NHL. You just look and there's nothing going on. I'm like, oh, all
there
right.
were a few games in Minnesota where it was just like, what planet are you on, dude? Oh my god, dude. What a bag he gave up. Jesus Christ. That guy just decided not to make 50 sheets. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's fucking that's a whole other we could probably do a whole fucking history of John Klingberg episode, dude. It's kind of very fun for us, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Keeping it somewhat Minnesota based. I mean, how's Rossi feeling now? Shout out. He's a 1 year at Duluth, by the way. How's he feeling overall? I saw you got him out live for one of your post games, dude.
Yeah, he was here for games 1 and 2. He got to go to the alumni box. Last night, he actually gave me shit on the post game, and he's usually pretty quick to be like, these guys are like soft as shit and get on.
I will never forget the game
4 last year.
Oh my god. That was the one show I was like, I have to fucking watch every single one of these. This is unbelievable. Like, I think he had the wine going. I was like, he might have put down 3 bottles, just so angry at Mitch Marner. I was like, this guy's fucking unhinged.
Dude, he comes on and I can see him in the waiting room, right? And I see him like seething. And I'm like, oh shit, let's get to this guy right away. I bring him on and I basically just immediately was like, what'd you make of tonight's game? Then he just went off.
Let me tell you. There was one again. I think it was the game 3 or whatever it was last year. It was just like I think he was trying to say 10 different things about Marner. Like, fuck you. It's just like, this is the best, dude.
One of the lines that I just never forget, and like I have gone back and watched some of this stuff a few times. He was so good. It's like well known here in Toronto, and I'm sure it is league wide as well, like how the influence that his family, let's put it that way, has on decisions that are made and contracts, et cetera, et cetera. Rossi gets pissed off about that stuff. And in that post-game rant, he's like, these guys think they're so special and like they deserve all this shit. And he goes, who made you feel that way? Your daddy, and just goes nuts. And I start laughing, and I was pissed. Like, don't get me wrong, I was pissed. And then that line came out, and then I just could not stop laughing. And I'm like, I pulled myself off the screen. I got my hand covering my face because he can still see me. I'm just trying not to like visibly laugh. And then I would just come back on and just like throw back to him. And then he would just go off about something else. It's still like, there's people who just like have seen me out. Like I really don't get like recognized and stuff. Like, but people will see me and just be like, you're the guy from that video of the guy going nuts about Marner. I'm like, yeah, like that.
I was the other guy in the small box in that video. Yes, I was also there. Yep, I was there. I was present for that one.
That was me.
God, he's such a beauty.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So 2 things we got to hit on before you go. And like, if you're available, you can stay as long as you want, man, but I'm sure you got other shit to do.
Yeah.
First one is like, there's a lot of good bits you guys have running on the sheet, but is there / will there ever be a better one than Ace here?
No, that is honestly so good. And the fact that Wyshynski is going like above and beyond right now to do like investigative journalism to find out why his name became that. He like, I don't know if you saw the other day, he came to the show on Sunday and was like, I talked to like this person, and this person, and these are the stories I've pieced together from like parts of his career. I mean, he basically came to the conclusion that like he called himself Ace.
Well, I love the evolution though of the like, well, it was AC, but no one called him Ace, but then they shortened it to Ace, but then you go like hockey lingo and you have to add the Y at the end. So it went from AC to Ace to AC, but it's now ACEY. Like,
yeah.
It's incredible, but like I messaged Wyshynski right away. I'm like, dude, I've wondered this same thing forever. Thank you so fucking much. Like,
did you guys, by the way, see him ask Marchand last night, or not ask, talk to him last night? Because it was Marchand's birthday yesterday. Did you guys see that?
I didn't.
When he was like, someone's getting fired.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I only saw the part.
No, it's just the Liam Stardy was like first ever time playing on your birthday. And Marshall was like, I think I played my birthday before, so I don't know who's giving you the research.
Oh.
Someone's getting fired. I looked it up, but he's never played his birthday, by the way. Just so
okay.
I did look it up.
That is such a Marchand response, though, like with no backing. Like, no, I definitely have. Fuck you.
Yeah.
He goes, Anson Carter opens it by saying to Marchand, he's like, hey, happy birthday, it's Ace. And Marchand like kind of snickers.
You know, there has to have been at least one guy in the league who they talked to for the TNT thing who was just like, he goes, Ace here. He's like, who the fuck? Who's Ace?
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be at least one player who's like, who the fuck am I talking to? Right
you know
now?
what, though?
Yeah.
I bet a couple of them are like, as long as it's not Biz, cool.
Yeah.
That McKinnon one. The McKinnon one was great.
Whatever you want, dude.
Yeah. McKinnon
Dude,
being like, I don't know,
6-2.
bro. We lost, so it's not that funny. It was like that fucking rule.
Yeah. So good. McKinnon.
How do you feel about
this
Biz being an ambassador of your team?
Whatever. I really don't. I
That's
mean,
the correct answer.
Yeah, I really don't care. Like, it's just, it's one of those things. Like, it's kind of funny that he's like so. Okay, one of the reasons I find it so funny is because in Canada here, the coverage we get on Sportsnet and TSN, like they call TSN the Toronto Sports Network.
Toronto Sports Network, yeah.
And in like a lot of it that kills me about it is like, where do you live? Oh, Toronto. And what team are you looking for coverage of? Oh, like some, Western. I don't know. You're looking for like the Winnipeg Jets coverage. I'm like, you live in Toronto. They put Toronto programming on certain channels. You're probably watching those channels. Like if you go, there's Sportsnet East, Sportsnet West, Sportsnet Center. Like you can watch other fucking shows. You can watch other shit. So it's like, that's the first thing where I'm like, dude, you live in Toronto. You're watching Toronto TV. Like you can't be complaining here. But then people like outright complain about it. The only thing that I ever get annoyed with is like, the Leafs don't really actually have a home broadcast other than when TSN does Leafs games. They literally do like the Leafs show. They do Leafs pregame, Leafs like intermissions, Leafs postgame. Sportsnet just won't do it. They just do like national coverage. And so like that's what I think Leafs fans sometimes lose out on. It's not like Leafs fans don't get enough coverage. Like I'm not trying to say that, but they just don't get that like home broadcast type of coverage. Like Bruins fans with fucking Jack Edwards kind of shit. Like they don't never get that. So people get mad about that. I at least have an appreciation that someone is just outwardly like, I'm a Leafs fan. I love the Leafs. Like, it's a little bit ridiculous. I get it. I don't really care personally, but I just think it's funny that someone is just outwardly on TV wearing an ambassador jacket. He never even played for the team.
That was what was so cool. When they asked Madonna, they were like, have you ever known a guy to be an ambassador for a team who's never played for the team? Madonna was like, no, who are you talking about? They're like, fucking Biz. And he was like, oh shit. He's like, no, they were one of the 3 teams that put a claim in for me. Like,
he was like, I know there's a trick question here, but I don't get it.
Yeah, like, dude, not minor team, not even like coast for the organization, like nothing. And he's an ambassador, so whatever. It's also kind of funny by the organization to be like, yeah, this guy's an ambassador just because he's just like a nut job on TV that's like screaming for the Leafs. Good play by them, like very smart play by them. So I don't know. I at least have an appreciation for that.
You got to make it, yeah. The other thing we got to ask your opinion on, because like we're going to talk about it pretty much every episode until a trade actually comes to fruition. And Cameron Myers, our boy, shout out for the contribution, buddy. We'll get into like the Tage Thompson of things, but what is the outsider's view on Marco Rossi? Like, is this a player that you want on your team? Like, what do you see his value being if you're a team that's trying to acquire him, whether or not it's the Leafs?
So I am honestly kind of confused why Guerin. I don't know. You guys tell me. Like, is it just because of the money that he wants and they don't see that as the fit here, or like?
I think there's a lot more to it. Bill Guerin drafted a 5'9" player and was hoping that he would stop being a 5'9" player.
Okay.
The money matters too.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I think he's a good player. I think there's promise there. I just was like very confused about the whole I don't know the word, conflict, I guess maybe the way to put it. Like, I just confused like about how this kind of arose. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's kind of the guys that you want there, the types of players that you want there surrounding other pieces that you have that you're trying to build around. Now you're going to go into this period where you have salary cap opening up with the cap going up. You can go out and spend other pieces. Like, don't you want these younger guys here that are homegrown products? Like, I mean, there is value in terms of like what specifically you'd be able to get. I genuinely don't know. Like, I couldn't even begin to sit here and tell you guys what that would be, because this is one of those ones where like I could honestly see in the summer seeing like a Hall come back and be like a Hall as in like a big trade package, not Taylor Hall, and being like, oh wow, okay, like sure. Or I could see like pennies on the dollar and being like, yeah, I guess so. Like, it's like, well, I don't know. That's a shit answer, and I guess that's gonna sound super generic, but like, that's kind of the way I view like the Rossi thing. Like, genuinely, if I saw like a Bob McKenzie tweet come out and be like, Marco Rossi's on the move, and it's like this big trade, it'd kind of be like, okay, yeah.
Adam Larson,
tiny, 1 for 1. Like, no, yeah, like it's one of those weird ones to me where I could see it kind of swinging either way, where someone overvalues him like crazy, or like Guerin just really can't find anything for it.
Well, let me do my best Ryan Whitney impression then to play off that Madonna interview. If you're a franchise that has never really been able to develop a homegrown center outside of, I guess, Mikko Koivu and now Joel Eriksson Ek, which took a while to develop, you got a guy you drafted top 10, has a career year, is basically the only reason you made the playoffs with the injuries you had. You have to trade that player, right? Like,
I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. This is going to kill me. Like, I'm literally dying as we speak.
We're very perplexed too. Trust me. It's you're not the only one, man.
I don't even know. Like, I'm honestly like, I'm pulling up stuff here too, because I was just trying to like I don't even 40 points in his first full season, 60 points this year.
And you probably don't even know this backstory, but they famously not made, but we'll just say made him stay here for the entire summer, the summer that his sister was getting married. And he's like, yep, I'm in. And now they're like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. No, I know. I know. That's it. Like, I was listening to Morning Cup of Hockey, I think it was, when they were talking about that situation. And that was the first time that I had heard about that. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of strange thing to ask a guy to do, but all right. But look, I don't know. This is one of those ones where it just feels like maybe like there's just it's just like a rift. Like it's like something where they just can't get over it kind of thing. Because this to me is the kind of player that I would want like to keep around. It's honestly, this is the guy that I keep seeing the trade stuff. And I saw the title of the show, like when I was jumping in here, I'm like, I know that you guys are like anticipating this and I completely understand why. I just don't get it from the Minnesota side of things. Like why they're so eager to move on from him. I really don't, boys.
That makes three of us.
I don't know.
That makes three of us. And to Cameron's point, do you think Tage Thompson is a guy that's going to be on the move from Buffalo? Or is he like the one guy that has absolutely no chance of, him and Dahlin?
I think him and Dahlin, unless they ask out, are not going anywhere. Like, Buffalo does some really stupid shit.
No.
If they did that, it would be like, shut it down, move them to Atlanta. Like,
especially if it involved Rossi, where like this is an organization that is overloaded with small skilled players that all fit the same prototype. You're gonna do that.
The city of Buffalo would be outside of KeyBank.
They're there now. Like they're all fucking
exactly.
Let me in the fucking building right now. Fucking like making his phone now. Fucking Jesus Christ.
I can't see Thompson being on the move. Can't see Dahlin. That said, what I will say is Biz had that comment 2 months ago. I guess 2 months ago now. Remember he's talking about Dahlin and the meeting that Dahlin had with the management there and kind of saying like if this doesn't get better. I don't think Biz was really that far off. I don't think he asked for a trade. I don't think that that's happened. I think we would know that if he did ask for a trade or like said we're at the breaking point. I think we would know that. I don't think Biz is that far off from what he said. I do get the feeling that Rasmus Dahlin had some talks with them effectively like, what's the direction? What's the plan? Like, let's start winning because people, i.e. myself, are getting antsy. And I kind of get that impression that was a conversation that was had with Rasmus Dahlin and the management of Buffalo.
Well, and management's like leaning over to each other like, what's this guy's fucking problem?
Yeah,
it's just so crazy to me for Buffalo. It's like the fact that like they have literally been in the same exact spot since they first missed the playoffs, like however many years ago. Was that 2011 was the last time they made it, maybe? I don't even remember. But like at no point have they've done the thing where like 4 years in a row they won like 12 games in a row in November and then lost 400 in a row. Like it's like they've just done the same shit. Like Montreal was a playoff team, was one of the worst teams on the planet, and then they made the playoffs again, all before Buffalo's made any progress whatsoever. Like I don't get it, and I really, I'm fine with it because we're in the Atlantic here, but at the same time, I do want them to get back to like playoff hockey because the Toronto Buffalo games used to be so fucking electric. And like that fan base is nuts. Obviously, Toronto fan base is nuts. And like it makes me sad. I mean, like Toronto fans do this everywhere, but like it makes me sad when it's like there's thousands of more Leafs fans at KeyBank fucking over like the Sabres fans. But like that rivalry used to be so fucking fun. And I mean, I don't know, that fan base just deserves literally anything. But like they've stayed shit for 15 years. Like it's crazy. I don't get it. Like they've done They've gone nowhere.
Yeah, and I think the most frustrating part of the whole situation with Buffalo would probably honestly also be like let's just say they just hit or they swung and missed and didn't hit on guys. Then you're sitting there like, man, like our scouting staff are like, we can't find the right players, like bad luck. I don't know, whatever you want to put it. Jack Eichel, Ryan O'Reilly, Sam Reinhart, always heat up in March and just fuck up any chance fire pick. That's also something that they do. Yeah. But it's like they had these guys come through there. Olofsson, who's that now they're in Vegas. Like you look at all these players that Montour was
There's
there
way
in
more.
Buffalo. You know, you go through the list of guys who have either gone on and won a cup with other teams or been top end talent with other teams, whatever, just had success elsewhere, whatever it may be. Like they just bring these guys in and just either fuck up development or ship them out at the wrong time or under or overvalue guys that come through the organization and expect something that it's not, and then just mishandle all these assets. And it's like, you have to be sitting there as a Sabres fan, just looking and being like, if this has lasted this long and we've gone through however many GMs and coaches and scouts and throughout the list, there's one common denominator here throughout all of this that would probably just be driving these people nuts, which is Terry Pegula right at the top of it. And then you're sitting there watching that and you're like, this guy sucks as an owner. And then those same people are also like, wow, the Buffalo Bills fucking awesome. It's like, like what the hell?
It's like you have two kids and the one turns out to be really good at sports. You're like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about my second kid. Like
that kid's
it is crazy,
and we're not going to worry. They don't have to do it. They don't have to go to do sports. And we're not going to worry about them. And then everyone's like, hey man, like maybe pay attention to the kid. They're running in traffic.
He got arrested last night. He got arrested last night. Dude. You should probably check on that motherfucker.
Pauline could make for a hell of a linebacker for the Bills.
Yeah,
for the Sabres.
And
we're going to talk about like choosing between two kids. This one from our boy Sean Cosgrove. There are 3 teams in the NYC area, which I think that's a stretch, but we'll go with it. 2 in the LA area. Why is there only 1 in Toronto? Like people talk about it every year and it's going to continue to be talked about. I think Merrick's actually one of the people that talks about it the most. Do you think that 2 teams in Toronto would be a positive or a negative, being someone that cheers for the Leafs and lives in the area?
I just think I look at it this way. I don't think the Leafs would. I don't know. I don't know how. Like I don't know how much say. I guess is the first place we got to go that they would have in this. But then I also look at it and I'm like, if Gary comes to them and he's like, we want to put another team here. At this point in the NHL and like how long it's been around and how long Toronto's been here, I could just see Toronto just being like, do you know how much money like we make? I like, even if we're like, it's just the league, TV deals in Canada, whatever you want to put it, like not even trying to be arrogant about it, but it's factual. Like they just make a outrageous amount of money. I'd love Martin to end up. that would be my worst nightmare. You guys would never see me again.
But see, Toronto, like Leafs fans would actually love that because then they could shit on him even harder.
Yeah, because you'd be in the backyard and you could go nuts on them. But I just feel like they would just be, the MLSE would just kind of turn to them and be like, really? Like, you know how much money we make you? And then you're just going to like split this or try to split this between the two. The other thing, which is a good point that Merrick had brought up, I can't remember if he said it on the show or just him and I were talking about it, but like if a new team gets added in Canada, whether it's expansion or whatever, how many new Canadian or how many new hockey fans do you think are generated from a new team being put in Canada?
My argument to that is going to be what we've actually had fans comment on our show before when we talk about this. You're going to name the team the Toronto Blue Collars, and it's for the people that can't afford to go to a Toronto Maple Leafs game. Like straight up, like how many people in Ontario are Leafs fans and will never go to a game because they cannot afford it.
Okay, that's fair. The other thing would be, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the geography in Canada. The team would probably have
You're
to go
south
to
of me right now, actually. So
yes, correct. I am. Yes, that is true. But the team would probably have to go to like Hamilton,
sure.
which is like I don't
No,
know.
dude, this is
You
gonna
guys
be
know what
straight up
Hamilton
New
is
York
like, but
Giants,
it's like
New
a
York Jets.
lesser. Yeah, it's like
Share
a
the
lesser
rink.
Buffalo.
Share
which
the
is
rink.
like- right. Share the rink. That would go over well. Oh fuck. That would go over well. The
Who
ticket
owns the
prices
rink?
would definitely be able to go lower because the arena will be full every night. But I mean, it's already busy enough, so
Right.
shouldn't have to. God, share the rink. Holy fuck.
That'd be
People
so
would
bad.
lose their minds.
Imagine
Like,
too,
you'll
the
not
new
take
Toronto
anybody
team
really
winning
who's
first.
a Leafs fan. Like, you're not going to take people who are diehard Leafs fans, and they're not going to become a fan of this new team, really. Like, you're going to get fair weathers, but the problem with that is that they're not going to go to the new team most likely. Like, your conversion rate on them from fair weather to diehard is probably going to be pretty low. So you're not going to take a diehard Leafs fan and just convert them over. Like, my dad's texting me last night during the game. Mind you, it's 2-2 series. My dad is texting me being like, fucking clowns, it's over. Turn the game off. Like, series is done. Wrap this shit up on Friday. And it's like, it is 2-2. Like, I'm pissed, but it's 2-2. That guy.
You just give the thumbs up.
This team. Yeah, just like the message. Like, watch me on the post game. See you then. But that guy hates this team. Like, but he will never switch.
But that's
He
the
will
most
always
intense
feel
form
it.
of love is that much hate.
Yes, exactly. But he just won't switch. So that's the problem.
I want you to know I take no pleasure in hearing that. It does not. I feel terrible about that. I really.
It seems like it. It's oozing through the screen right now.
Yeah.
I could tell.
Breaking my heart. Getting somewhat back on track. We already talked about the changes for Toronto to get. I mean, I almost said like get back in the series. It's fucking 2-2, like you just said.
I know.
But like, I mean, I'm not gonna mention the fucking Game 5 record for this fucking hockey team, but like,
it'd be horrible if we mentioned that.
how do you see these? Like, I feel like the first 5-10 minutes of this Game 5 is either gonna be like chess or it's gonna be chaos, north south from both. Like, I mean, you need anything from Marner and Matthews, obviously.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling like Kachuk's gonna try to go after someone because it's just whatever. It's what he does. Same thing with like I'm sure Bennett, Marchand, whoever. But like, how do you see the first 10 minutes of Game 5 going? And I mean, how confident are you at all that they can like turn the vibes around, really? Because again, it's 2-2. Because like literally the commentary, you would think it's 3-1 Florida going into Game 5 right now.
I know you would. I think that I do kind of expect a chaos, but like I would say a controlled chaos. Like putting it as chess is like a good way to put it, because like I would say that that's probably what I see out of like Carolina, Washington, is it does feel like that chess match where you're going back and forth. This one, I do anticipate chaos because I feel like that's the game that Florida wants to play, and they're going to try to bring the Leafs back into where they're going to be like, we're going to go haywire on you here. Like, how do you handle it? How do you respond? Can you handle it? The thing that I think is going to be interesting is I think Nylander's gonna have a good game here, because I think he's a guy that knows that the importance of this one. He doesn't score an OT on the breakaway. He cost them on that Bennett goal that gets scored the second goal of the game. He makes a bad play in the neutral zone, gets turned over. Like, people think that guy doesn't care. He's very calculated with that stuff, where like he knows like that cost us a goal, that play that I made, and he's gonna know I owe the boys one. Like, I know the team one. So like him, Nyes, the matchup game that you're going to get from Berube here as well is also going to be interesting, how he puts those bottom six guys out and starts to use them to try to take advantage. But I do expect chaos. This 10 minutes to open this game, I think is probably the most important 10 minutes of the season, because this is doom and gloom to say, but like, I think you guys will agree. You lose this one, it's done. I'm dead serious. Even if you win game 6 and you push it to 7, I feel like a coin flip situation, Bob, all that shit. It's the cards are stacked against you in that. If you at least win this one and maybe it goes to 7, maybe you go in with some more positive vibes, but it just feels like if it goes the other way, like you're not, I don't know. It just feels like you're just fighting an uphill battle at that point. And this first 10 minutes, how you come out, like, are you, even if it's 0-0, was your back against the wall the whole time? Were you just trying to stay alive? Were you trying to get out of the 10 minutes? Were you going blow for blow? Did you carry the play? Like, how that happens is going to be very indicative of how the rest of the game goes, because this is a Leafs team that in years past, if they come out and they try to weather the storm for the first 10, that's how the game's going to go for the next 50. Like, unfortunately, that's just where it's been at. So, I mean, I expect some chaos, though, to start the game. I don't think it's going to be like suspension, kind of like go nuts territory, but I do expect it to be really, really aggressive.
Yeah, no shots to the numbers on Barkov. That's for sure. You've been on with us for way longer than you needed to, and we very much appreciate it. Are there any other series that you want to talk about, or you got a jet? Wherever you want us to go.
I'll do one more, and then I got to go because we have all of our reporting that we have pump in on Monday night. So got to get back to that after. But the last one, what do you guys make of this Oilers series right now? Because
honestly, I think it's way more fun. Like, and this isn't disrespect to the Leafs Florida series, but like the chaos of the Edmonton-Vegas one might be more fun for me.
Well, and like maybe it also feels that it gets turned up a notch because we watch Carolina, Washington, which I do also appreciate that hockey, but you know, it's tame relative. And then you go from that into Edmonton, Vegas, and it's like you've just shot up on heroin to watch the 9 p.m., 10 p.m. game. You're just sitting there like, this is fucking unbelievable. Like, I don't know. It's nuts. I am not a Stuart Skinner believer at all. Some of the guys that I used to work with, like last year and years past, one of the guys is like a big goalie, like analytics, like kind of guy. And he was telling me, he's like, I still have faith in Stuart Skinner. And I'm like, bro, I don't know what numbers you're looking at, but just straight up, I think this guy fucking sucks. So I can't believe that they're going to have to battle through this. I heard Calvin Pickard was going to be like maybe a week here until he could come back. Oh, that's some scary shit if I'm an Oilers fan. And yet at the same time, it's like they just have McDavid and Draisaitl and Corey Perry, who seems to have turned back the clock 15 years. So like, does it even matter? Because what are we doing? And then all of a sudden, 0.4 seconds left, Leon Draisaitl scores in his own net. Like I every single time I turn on the TV and watch that game, I have no idea what's going to happen. And it's the most electric shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude, I need to know what his best friend in media asked him after that game. Oh my goodness. Jim Matheson is probably like, why are you so pissy, Leon? No, honestly, the Stuart Skinner thing for me is more, he'll be back, hopefully. Skinner, for me, his ceiling is a good goalie. I'm never going to trust that I'll see the ceiling in a given game, if that makes sense, right? Exactly. Like, I don't trust the consistency, which is terrifying. But for me, is Corey Perry now officially stamped as the best player from the best draft class in NHL history, being the 03 class? Like, this is insane what he's doing on the verge of turning 40. And like, it's not just that he's still like producing, it's that he completely transformed his game and now continues to be like a Stanley Cup mercenary. I think it's impressive as hell, and everyone hates him. He's the worm, whatever. I get it. I respect the hell out of like what that guy has done to transition from a steady 50-goal scorer to I'm just going to be a rat and I'm going to find a way to bite and claw my way into shit.
Best player, and I'd say no. I'm looking at the list of the other guys here, just trying to like Bergeron better than Corey Perry.
Thank you.
Z is gonna save that clip forever.
That's just, that one's not too hard to me. The other ones are like, there's probably some debatable ones, and then I guess based on longevity. But look, I will say what he's doing. He went from a guy that people were like, we got to get this guy at the deadline to play in your bottom six, and he's a veteran and he's been here, to like lethal top six on a legit Stanley Cup contending team. I think a lot of it is the guys that he's playing with and the opportunities that come up from that here, obviously. That said, the hockey IQ and the work and commitment that's got to go with it to be able to like keep up and compete at that level to this point. Fuck, man, unbelievable job like by Corey Perry to be this competitive, this good, this reliable, this late into his career. But it is insane because like we got to be honest about it though. He's not been doing this for like the last few years, really. Like he's a really good player, like in other situations or other spots in your lineup, but not this.
How many times has he played with McDavid and Draisaitl?
Yeah, well, that's
Like this is straight up the one famous shift of Paul Bissonnette where he played with Malkin and Crosby for like 15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Except he's doing it game after game
in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah,
yeah, I know. It is nuts. Good for him, man. The longevity too, just to be able to do it this late. It's impressive stuff. It's really impressive stuff.
Yeah, but Z, I mean, the series. Like,
I don't get it. I don't
up, like. I think I shared the Blue Mountain State Thad Castle cocaine gif is the perfect way to describe what this is.
I don't understand how, like, every conventional theory as far as just like how you have to play playoff hockey, how much structure you have to have. Edmonton's like, yeah. What if we just don't do any of that? We're gonna lose Ekholm too. Bouchard's gonna forget that he's a defenseman for half the game, and then he's gonna score like 4 points the other half of the game. Klingberg's
gonna remember that he's a defenseman.
Like our goaltenders are like barely like replacement level. Like, but you know what? We have McJesus over here who's just like, all he really needs to do is take over for 12 minutes and you've got 6 goals right there. Again, we don't have that Colm, which the fact that they're winning any playoff games without him, by the way, they should have got swept in the first round. LA, Jim Hiller, I mean, Hiller, I don't even.
Challenge.
Oh my God. And I mean, they're like, well, hey, we're up going into the third period. Guys, I know what to do. We're not going to go past the red line. We're just going to hang out. We're going to let fucking McJesus, Draisaitl fly 7 million miles an hour down the ice and attack us nonstop. And we're going to give up 34 shots in between the third period and overtime. And we're like 4 shot attempts total. We got this in the bag. And here they are. They fucking take those first 2 against Vegas. And I'm like, I don't know. This doesn't make sense to me. Like, it shouldn't work, but I guess that's just like when you have a human cheat code. I guess that I mean, you can do whatever you want. But the fact that, again, no Ekholm, those 2 goalies that they're using, and they're a fucking 2-1 of this series. Like, it shouldn't work. It does. I haven't decided if I hate it or if I love it. Because it feels unfair, and I don't know. I don't really know what to do. I'm pretty sure at one point in the series, Hyman scored from like beyond 6 feet, which I didn't know he was allowed to do that, but he did. So like everything they're doing is breaking my brain. Yeah, they're like, hey, what are you fucking doing?
Invisible fence.
yeah, it's fucking crazy. I don't get it. They're like, oh shit, we forgot to turn on the electric fence. That's the easy look. They just don't make sense to me, and I can't tell if I want them to like. I don't know if I want it to work or not, but it is working. It's very fun to watch at times, but it's like, well, why the fuck are we like GMs even bothering trying to build like a real hockey team? Just fucking go 0-82 and draft the first overall pick 8 years in a row and just do that. It's fine. Who cares?
True. That is the other thing. Like they
and miss on half of your first overall fucking picks, by the way. Like,
which like let's go like alternate reality. You talk about Buffalo and all the great guys have left. McDavid goes to Buffalo.
Yeah.
What happens then?
No, it's Buffalo. He's never played the playoff game.
Well, also like
Good trade for Tage Thompson.
You guys are not gonna like this, but like so however the lottery balls work, and I'm not gonna pretend to like actually fully understand, but all I do know is in that year, however the combination of the balls had gone, basically the Leafs, if it was one ball, that would have been their pick. Like they had a small chance of it, but like if one or two of the balls, whatever it was, came, they had those combinations like in their lot. Like you guys know what I'm saying? Like they in their lottery card, like they had those combos. So there was like one or two chances or whatever, where if that ball came, like that could have been theirs. And it was like not that far off from what Edmonton's was at that point, just based on the combinations that had come through. Like you're talking about alternate realities, like those are the ones that are just fucking wild, because that's the year too. The Leafs end up drafting Marner, and then the next year, because of that, they end up drafting Matthews. And it's like, that happens. Neither of those guys are here on this team. Very different situations. Look at Buffalo. They're probably making playoffs if it's them who gets them. Like, it's just like...
No, I don't believe that.
Yeah. I think they would have had to trade them.
Got McDavid for Marner. That is the headline.
Deals 1 for 1. And I celebrate naked down the streets of Toronto.
There you go. That's what's the.
We're just
I'm actually gonna. Again, I didn't say this before. I don't know why I said it again. I actually weirdly believe in Toronto in Game 5 here. Like I actually think Nylander and Nyes are about to just have like career-defining games in here in Game 5, and I actually believe in them, which is a really gross feeling for me. And I'm usually wrong about stuff, so don't put any stock into that.
Oh, that makes me feel so much better.
Yeah, no, if I say anything positive, you should be like, okay, well, pack it in, fellas. That's gonna do it for that. But like, again, this team just feels so different to me, even though Game 4 was like incredibly deflating. Just like if you're a Toronto fan, I don't know what it is, but I just have a weird feeling that this is a different Game 5. Which, I mean, how many times I guess have people said that about this team? But
Zach,
I don't like it
to be the case because he wants them to crumble in Game 7.
No, dude, the Bruins missed the playoffs. We were like, hey, we didn't have to, like, we still have the like we can be like, we did our job those years, bro. Like, I don't know, you guys are up too, but fucking, I don't really care. I just want good hockey. I also really want Game 7, but I need an early start from the Leafs because I want that building rocking, because it has had different energy. Like that Ottawa series, that building was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
In those first 2 games against Florida, it was so different. God, it's just like, I am not used to this. This is fun.
The thing that I give the one reason, like the regular season is a different story. Like you should just be loud. Like there's no reason. It's pretty pathetic. The one reason that I give them like some pause when people get on them in the playoffs is I'm like, you know how much trauma like these people are gone through, and sitting there in a 0-0 game late into the second where you're just watching your stars not be able to score. It just feels like deja vu. Yeah, exactly. And you're like, I know how this is going to end. And people just get nervous. Like they just get uncomfortable. And like, I get it. It's just, they've just seen this and it's like, this is going to go south. And that's why that happens. I get it. Fans, they should just power through because they're not the ones on the ice. But like, you can tell there's just nervous energy. It's not that the crowd doesn't care or isn't engaged. It's just like very nervous energy. That's the one thing I'll give them.
There.
Yeah. All right, boys. I think I'm gonna head out of here. But I appreciate you guys having me. I'm happy to come back anytime.
Oh, really? No matter how this series goes, you're happy to come back.
I'm happy to face some music. It is what it is. I'm always down to talk hockey. I'm good with that.
Fair enough, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on. It's always fun. I say always, as in we've done it twice, but
yeah, 2 times. No, I'm happy to come back anytime, and I appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely, brother.
Awesome. Appreciate it, buddy.
Sounds good. See you, boys. Thank you.
All right. We now can get into the only other series, because let's be real. Is there anything we want to talk about from Washington, Carolina?
Not at all.
Okay. So moving on, Dallas-Winnipeg.
Oh my God!
If Dallas loses out and is done playing hockey in the postseason, do you still give Mikko Rantanen a Conn Smythe vote when it's all said and done?
I like what he is doing is insane. And again, the fact that like that fan base was on his ass, rightfully so, even though he was just under a point per game in the regular season, like I think played 18 games in Dallas before the playoffs. But it just like obviously did not look the same. And all of a sudden it's like you saw the tweets coming out, the comments being like, oh, was he really just benefiting from playing with someone like Nathan McKinnon, like being on the ice with Cale Makar constantly? And I think he heard everyone talking shit.
It took him a couple months, but he eventually heard it.
Yeah, like, and it's not just he's producing. It's like every time he's stepping on the ice, it's just like, oh, the ice tilts. He's taking over. And I mean, it was what, 4 games in a row with at least 3 points, 4 points? Like, and now he is just an absolute force. Like, plenty of times there's been like a couple minutes, like been like a little, like whatever. Like Dallas has a few shifts where like they're really lacking, they're stuck in their own zone. Then Rantanen just jumps over the boards, and all of a sudden it's like the puck feels like it's just gonna go in every time he touches it, every time he's on the ice. And Nazem Kadri, as he says on Twitter, rule number 1, you always keep the dogs. I looked at he went #96. I don't know why that made me laugh, but it did. But oh my god, Mikko Rantanen is terrifying. Like he is, Jesus Christ, like it's impressive.
Also, can you hashtag numbers? Like, I don't think that even turns out as a hashtag.
No, you do. Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Shout out Kadri though for giving us that talking point, because it's incredible.
Yeah. And again, no Heiskanen. Robertson's just getting back into things, and like obviously he's gonna take a while before he like gets back to playing like himself. But like between Rantanen just being the dog in this series, and that like it's at this point it feels pretty much like a consensus thing where it's like, hey, if you're Team USA, your starting goaltender might have to. It is Jake Ottinger at this point. I'm not all the way there yet. Well, I don't think, because there was a game 2. Game 2 was it the Winnipeg shut him out?
Yeah, pretty.
So good, but like
a shout out again. Thank you to our friend Zach, from the South, for jumping on with us. The show he produces, The Sheet, with Jeff Merrick. Merrick continues to bring up, I don't know, Merrick doesn't bring it up. Wyshynski brings it up when he jumps on with Merrick. Is Italy considered a home or road game? That's how you decide if it's Hellbuck or not. But yeah, that's a fun storyline. Obviously Rantanen, but for me, it's more just, holy shit, they did it without Heiskanen and Robertson in the first round against, like, if you had to do, you know, when you do playoff picks and you can do like confidence rankings. So it's like 8 for the series that you're most confident in, 7 for the one that you're next most confident, you go all the way down. Colorado would have been like 8, 7, 6, somewhere in that range for me.
Yeah.
And Dallas handled them. This team is so set. It's crazy. Like, I don't think they'll be the underdog in any series moving forward, regardless of how it shakes out. And they might get Heiskanen back at this point, right?
Right.
Like, what is his timetable?
I don't know. I feel like it was. So I feel like even entering the playoffs, it was like probably minimum first round. He's out, but I don't know how confident they were that he'd be able to get back in for the second. But yeah, I mean, again, just the fact that they're doing it without one of the best defense on the planet is like, it's just insane to me. Like,
no, it's crazy,
unbelievably impressive. And the only other talking point from this series, what the fuck, Mason Marchment, are you out of your fucking mind?
I was wondering if that would come up.
How does the league? I don't like.
It's not the league's choice, by the way. It's the ref's choice whether or not they want to report him. But still, that guy being the one that did it is crazy that it's just like, oh, who cares?
I mean, he whacked him. He legit whacked him with his stick. Like, he whacked the referee with his stick.
Dude, we need to do like a compilation of different like Marshman dives, but we queue up like you can see like the crosshairs of the scope, and then all of a sudden, boom, and then he just goes down.
Break the red dot out. Yeah.
Like the Dallas Stars are notorious for diving, and that's not to say they're not great hockey players. Like, it's a great team, but like, holy shit, is the diving insane? And he is number 1, 2, 3 culprit for the team. It's insane. And yeah, he whacks the ref, and apparently the refs don't care. And now that means refs are going to get abused. Precedent set. Game over. Anything else on this series before we get to what everyone in the comments wants to talk about, which is, until he's gone, Marco Rossi.
No, again, the biggest talking points again for this series is just like how good Rantanen's been, how good Dallas has been without Heiskanen, and it's like, it's just impressive. Like, I mean, I don't like it. There's no other really way to say it. And by the way, Thomas Harley is like, his contract's up after next year. Oh baby, is he looking at a big number? And that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that kid in Heiskanen's absence, what a fucking player. Like, and I don't know how in tune people were, like, how up to speed people were with like what his profile was as a prospect coming in 2 years ago. It was like he had, before last year, the year before, I can't remember if this is his second or third like full NHL season. There were like some whisperings like, hey, like he's got a handful of NHL games and it hasn't really like anything that made him pop as a prospect. We haven't really seen it. And then all of a sudden he has just become this complete defenseman, a goal scoring weapon from the back end. I mean, he's playing like the first round, he was averaging like 30 minutes a night. Like,
dude, how much do you think Four Nations had to do with that?
And Four Nations was huge for him too.
I think that was his launching pad. That was when Dallas was like, oh shit, maybe we should let him play more.
Yeah. But like, good for him. Like, that's another, I mean, like, it wasn't like it was that. It wasn't like a 5-year thing where it was like, we've been waiting for this long. But it was like there were legit concerns or whispers like, hey, is he going to need to like go somewhere else potentially here? And then all of a sudden, I think it was just last year that he really just popped, and he's only getting better. He's still super young. Again, his contract's up after next season, and that's going to probably be a big, big number. So,
yeah.
Good. I mean, again, just good for him. I really love watching him play. Like, he's a very fun player. And again, he's only getting better. So it's just impressive.
That is fair. All right, so now we got to get into it. It's been buzzing through the chat. Let me see which thumbnail. Oh, here's a bunch of people that Mateo threw on as potential trade considerations for one Marco Rossi. But let's just talk Marco Rossi, right? It's insane. You heard of that from Zach. Why do they want to get rid of this guy? We don't fucking know. We don't know. It is baffling at this point. Where do we even want to start? Let's go Red Wings. Have you had the Rossi chat already? Oh, that's because we threw up the Larkin piece. And he says, best I can do is 13th overall pick and Jonathan Berggren. Or Berggren. That's an interesting name. Z, where do you stand on just what would be acceptable for you? Like, not saying what's a win in a trade or anything. Like, what is the minimum expectation for you to not want to like punch a hole in the wall when Rossi's traded?
Yeah, I mean, so like, and this is what we've talked about before, like the mold of this trade for me, like with how many young players they have coming up, where they're at, where like they have, especially if you decide to move them, you're going to have a glaring hole down the middle of the fucking roster again.
No.
Like, I am not, unless it's like a top 10 pick, I'm not interested in like draft picks. You need someone that can come in next year, play, be a top 6 potential center, whatever it is. Maybe like a later draft pick. I mean, I feel like you're doing Rossi plus, and then you're like for a big name.
So what is
like
the plus though, right? That is the biggest question, because every other like Minnesota based show, even the non-Minnesota ones, are like, yeah, the Wild have to try and like move him out for a top 6 center, like potentially a 1C. It's like, how do you do that? How do you do that without giving up like all of the depth you built? Which, you know, to the Larkin point, right? The reason that Larkin's even come up is twofold. One, him and Stevie Y, the stuff that they both said in the postseason press availability, like, it can't be ignored. Do I think they'll figure it out? Probably. But then again, you look at the debacle with Yzerman and Marty St. Louis and how that unfolded. Who knows? But the other piece is like how good Larkin was for Team USA at 4 Nations, and Bill Guerin, weird, being the GM of that group and being like, God damn it, I'd love to have this guy here. How much would you be willing to give up if it was a Rossi Larkin type trade? Because in my mind, it's almost going to have to be Rossi plus 2 of our blue chip prospects, not named Bouillon, and a first round pick, whatever. Like, I feel like it would be totally worth it for a guy of Larkin's stature at his age, where he's at, what he's being paid. Aside from including Bouillon, is there anything you're saying no to in that trade if it's Rossi plus prospects? Because there's some good prospects in this pool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, again, is it because they don't want to commit the money to him the big money to him right now in favor of signing a big top 6 center this offseason? So are you creating space, or at least not creating space, but just like not committing more money to Rossi right now? Like, so it's the same thing. But
I'll defend too. Like, do I think that Rossi deserves $9 million a year? No.
Right.
Do I think that 5x5 is a fair offer? No. It's not like disrespectful, but I don't think that that's what he's worth, if we're being honest.
Right. To me again, I honestly at this point, I just watching him develop where he's at right now, his overall profile of a player, like I still just see like a good 2C is going to give you 65 points a year. So what's that worth for you? I mean, again, he gives you good 2-way play as well. Again, I feel like the big knock with him for like any other GMs around the league, or especially here in Minnesota, I guess, it's just the fact that he's a 5'9" center who's not necessarily projecting to put up like a point per game, but he's also like the skating thing. Like, he's not like, usually it's like those small players, they fly up and down the ice, whatever. But he's just such a smart player. He does have that really good skill. He uses his body well for an undersized guy. He's not afraid to battle. I mean, like you saw like bits and like there were a few sequences like in the postseason against Vegas where like maybe he got nudged off the puck here and there, but like nothing crazy, nothing egregious. And again, like we've seen him go up against pretty much every big boy in the league anyways over the last 2 years. But I mean, to me, he's probably a solid 2-way center. He's going to give you 60, 70 points. I think his ceiling to me is like 70. Like, I do think he can be in his career like a 25, 35 guy.
I think he could be
what's that really worth?
30, 40 guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like who's he going to play with too? Like, I mean, we saw him. He was clicking right around.
What he just did. That's 60.
Right. And then that was with him not like as the year went on, they were like dropping him down in the lineup, right? So who's he
and didn't have the insulation. He was the guy to cover because there was no Ak or Kaprizov.
Right.
So
So I mean, that's going to factor in obviously who's he going to be playing with wherever he ends up. But I don't know. For me, it's like specifically with Larkin, like those other 3 that came up. I don't think any of those 3 guys are like even being mentioned in trade talks anyway.
They're not available.
Yeah, I was confused when I saw them. I was like, I don't see any of that. I was like, I don't think so.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love it.
That's his job. He's doing it well.
So let's say you're looking at the Larkin thing. Would Rossi take your pick between Ogren or like a Ryder Ritchie and then a pick. I don't know.
See, I think it would be both. I think it would be like a Rossi, Ogren, and, you know, call it Ritchie, call it Height, call it whatever, plus a pick. I do that, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have no hesitation giving up a guy that Bill Guerin's already moving. So, like, Rossi, me wanting Rossi to stay is not a factor in this evaluation because it's not happening. Zero chance. Like, Russo has made that abundantly clear. So him and two guys that, like, do I love the potential with Ogren and Height? 100%. Like, those are two of my favorite prospects, but they are not proven. They are not guarantees. Dylan Larkin is absolutely proven and is absolutely a guarantee, and he is literally in the prime of his career and will be the best center the Minnesota Wild have ever had. You give up whatever you have to short of Buyam in the prospect pool. Am I wrong?
Right. Well, the thing is too with Detroit, what are they gonna like? I'm at the point with Detroit where I don't even know what they're gonna be asking for either. Like, you know,
the idea though is like this is only if Larkin's like, "Fuck you, Yzerman." Like, I'm done with this shit. Like, this is a guy that grew up in Michigan, played for Michigan, got drafted by hometown Detroit, and is the captain. I am not sitting here suggesting that Detroit is trying to move him. This is really just a D-Day scenario for our buddy LGRW who's in the chat. Like, dude, this is straight up not me saying like, oh, Detroit's trying to get rid of him or, oh, like the Wild are going after him. It's more just, hey, if things go south, come on. You're going to have no choice. Just like what happened with Marty St. Louis. Straight up. Yzerman fucked with him, found out that he wasn't going to take it, had to make a trade that he didn't win. That could happen here. Do I expect it? Probably not. But it's worth discussing because Larkin is a guy that I'm willing to, I don't know if overpay is the right word, but I'm willing to give up quite a bit of the prospect pool to make that happen if it became something that was available, right?
Yeah. And I mean, with Larkin specifically too, like you've got him locked up. Like that's going to be a big time like package to get him over here anyways, especially with the cap going up. What's he making, like 8.5, 9? Is he? He's like, he made less than 9, right?
He's short. I think he's like just short of 8. He's like high 7.
Yeah, so that's gonna be expensive. Like, I mean, that's Agreed. So yeah, you're right. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
whatever. Just right. Not Buyam. He is the only prospect that I'm saying hard no to. The rest of the pool, like, there's really good players there. Take whatever the fuck you want on top of Rossi. I'm interested.
Okay, it is 8.7. I thought it was closer. Yeah,
it's 8.7. Shit. Sorry.
Either way, with the cap going up, I mean, he's like, again, he's the center that if they were going to make a big move here involving Rossi, he's like prime target, obviously.
You salivate.
Right. Again, it's hard in my own head even to just come up with the roster just because I've been so invested in Marco Rossi for so long. And I'm like, I will only take McDavid. I'm trying not to fucking be that guy. And obviously that's not really how I think. It's just like, it just drives me crazy that we're here with this player, which is just crazy. It doesn't make any sense. But
crazy.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is too, like, you don't have your first, I mean, next year's first round pick is more valuable than this year. This year's would have been anyway. So, I mean, you're looking at like first Rossi and then, yeah, two of your prospects, 2 of your top prospects. So probably is what would have to be. And I mean, if like, Let's Go Red Wings put in like the best I can do is a 13th plus burger, that's a hard no. Like, it's just a hard no for me.
A what?
A hard no.
Oh no, right.
13th.
That was more from their perspective of what they're willing to give up. Which, like, I'm not even saying that they're wrong if it's straight up that for Rossi. Like, I love Berger too.
Berger's a really good player too. It's just like I don't think it would make any sense for Minnesota if you're giving up on the.
But hey, he's a Rossi supporter, and it's more, dude. I don't know what the actual international national perspective is on Rossi after being buried to the fourth line, because we know how good he is. I think most GMs will see that, but they're also going to see like, all right, Guerin, you're clearly not bringing this dude back. We're not going to fucking overpay for this guy, right? So I think we're at a weird spot. I think we're going to see how things play out the next couple of weeks. I got to imagine he's traded before the draft. Otherwise, I'm going to be pretty perplexed about the whole situation. But how do we then evaluate what is the goal? Is it just, hey, we're going to bring in Brock Nelson and we're set? If that's the plan, fuck the plan. Because I just don't see a world. It's not even that I don't like Brock Nelson, because I actually think Brock Nelson's an awesome player, especially if it was a couple of years ago, right? He could fit very well to be almost like a 1A, 1B scenario with Eck. They both play a very similar game. He's going to cost too much if he comes. It makes no fucking sense. I'm going to be very pissed if that happens. And then they're talking about Brock Besser, who, let's be real, he's pretty consistently putting up 25 goals a year. Rossi just fucking did that as a really young center prospect. You're going to go out and pay more for Brock Besser than you'd even consider giving Marco Rossi. That's what bothers me. Now, granted, he's a handsome motherfucker. So if that counts for anything, sure, he gets a little extra thrown in, but the whole discourse around this is just crazy to me. I can't believe what they're doing. And hey, people freaked the fuck out about the Kevin Fiala trade. We ended up winning that trade. So I will give Billy bandwidth. Let's see what you do. Cook, Billy. Show me what you can do with this player that you're trying to diminish his trade value. I'm just nervous that it's going to backfire and Billy's got the hubris that he just doesn't fucking care. Right?
So I pulled up, because Daily Faceoff has their top 50 2025 free agents, and they include the AFP, their analytics that they use for contract projections, which has actually been pretty fucking on the money.
RFAs?
No, this is the UFA. So let's say the plan is to move out Rossi, not take any big time money back, but it is to keep that space for whatever they want to do with it. What they have projected for Brock Nelson, 3 by 7.1. Yeah.
No.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Unequivocally, no. What's it say for Besser?
6 by 8.5.
And then your counter offer to Rossi is 5 by 5. Fuck you. I like Brock Besser. I think he is a great hockey player. If you're going to give him anything in that territory and you're going to tell Rossi to fuck off because you won't take a 5 by 5, fuck you, Bill Guerin. That's insane to me. What has Brock Besser proven beyond what Marco Rossi has? Besides, Marco Rossi hasn't played as many seasons. He literally just had a Brock Besser season in his second full season. This was the prototypical Brock Besser season. Is it not? Am I crazy?
No, I mean, I think he can be a 25, 30. Yeah, he scored 25 and 25 and 75 games this year.
But that's a normal season for him.
Right, yeah. I think he's a 25, 30 goal guy every year, probably.
If you pay him that money and you tell Rossi to fuck off, that is insane to me. Now, if Brock Besser takes a lesser deal to come to Minnesota because he wants to be here and likes with the direction of the team, different story, and I can accept it. If you give him north of 8 and you give him 6+ seasons, I'm out. That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Tell me where I'm crazy on this.
No, I know. I'm again you and I are on the same page. I'm
not coming at you. I'm just speaking out loud into the void. Who is against me on this? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But let's go into the thing that's going to piss people off even more, Z. We're going to throw in a clip from Russo jumping on with Joe and I last week's episode of Fellowship of the Rink, where he seems convinced that one of the veteran players will be re-signed, not resigned, re-signed. It's not going to play well. Fans are going to be upset. Please let us know in the chat how you feel about this. Oh my goodness. The one thing that everyone grabbed onto from the player availability was Gustav Nyquist saying he'd love to come back. Is there any shot that happens?
I don't see it. I don't see it. I mean, I know Garen was asked if they're interested in any UFAs coming back, and he said, I think something I think so, or probably, or like, you probably don't want to say no right away, without going into it or seeing, like, there's guys like, Johansson. We don't know what has going to happen with him. John Merrill's there. I doubt they'll probably sign him. So, yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, to me, when he said that, didn't he actually identify, like, there's one? Didn't he say that, or am I making that up?
I think he might have said there's one, or there's possibly one.
Like,
but
to me, that would have to be Johansson. That would be the only one that would make any sense whatsoever, just because he's handy up and down the lineup. He had a pretty decent year. He was good down the stretch. And he's the type of guy that, there's a lot of scuttlebutt out there. We didn't get to talk to him before he took off for the World Championship, but there is a lot of scuttlebutt out there that he has decided that he either wants to play here or return and play for Farstad. So, which is his hometown, not home. It's where he lives now. He's not from Karlstad, but that's his team. So that's the big kind of rumor there. And I'm sure a lot of that actually will come out with the World Championship being in Sweden. I'm sure that he'll be quoted here at some point in the next couple of weeks and what his intentions are. And maybe the Wild have interest in bringing him back. As long as it's in a, hopefully they're not just feeling the need to just constantly keep them on the top six again. But yeah, I don't think Gus is coming back.
If they bring Marcus Johansson back after another contract year pop, I think that might be what ends Minnesota Wild Twitter.
There is a sick part of me
that wants it.
Yes. Especially if it's the BG special, baby.
4x4 NMC,
I mean,
baby.
it's literally, that
he's not getting 4 years though at this point. No. 4x2 NMC. Dude, we have to make a shirt that literally just says 4x4 NMC.
Yeah,
that's it.
There is a small part just because
hey, comment in the chat if you would buy a 4x4 NMC hat. Let us know.
So let's say, the one scenario where this would happen, where I wouldn't be like, are you out of your fucking mind, would be if, let's say, whatever moves happen and they just can't get the UFAs or whoever they're targeting, if they just can't make that happen, if they go for big money elsewhere, if you want to, at that point, if Johansson's like either Minnesota or I'm going back to Sweden, and he ends up with another like 1x2 million, then I'm like, I can stomach it, but wow, did you misplay that? Like,
okay, but here's the counter, which I know isn't lost on you, but I have to throw it out there for those listeners. He's going to be played where a prospect should be played. There is no chance that he's played on the fourth line. Even third line is a stretch. Do you want to bring him back regardless of the cost if that means that Ogren isn't getting into the lineup? Maybe it nudges Height out if Height's right on the edge. Like, do you want him back, period, with where this team is at in their trajectory?
No, obviously, like, they have to we went from, like, pre/first year of Bill Guerin, not even, like, pre-Bill Guerin, pre-Judd bracket, where it was, like, either all of our young players are going to get a shot right away before they're ready, or we don't have any, like, legit prospects, or we give up on them. It was always like, it was never, whenever they were fully in the NHL, there were like 2 or 3 where it was like, yeah, they're probably ready to play. Or again, they were like, nah, never. Like, we're just going to give up immediately. They have to let these kids into the lineup. They have to play at some point. Otherwise, why did you even bother getting better at drafting? Like, I mean,
is that what breaks Judd? Does Judd finally be like, "Fuck you, Billy, I'm out"? I'm gonna go somewhere where I can pray.
Let's say they move out Rossi to get the space. They don't get Nelson. They don't get Bassett. They don't get any of those top UFAs. They're like, all right, Pew Suter 5x5. Like, fuck. God, not again. We're doing it again. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, they obviously should not do it. He is the one where I think, again, like, let's say they drastically misplay their plans for like free agency, the draft, whatever. And they're like Johansson again, down the stretch, he was really good. Played well, played decently well in the playoffs.
We knew
so like you can stomach it, but it's like, bro, what were we doing this whole time then? Like, like
you have to put him on a 1-year deal then, because every year then is a contract year.
Yeah, there you go. In perpetuity.
If you continually do 1-year deals and he's always in a contract year, I'm not happy, but I can be talked into it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I had a feeling that was going to be his answer when you asked him that question. I was like, I already know where this one's going. And I was like, our comments are going to be very funny. And it will break Wild Twitter officially. So again, there's a sick part of me that's like, maybe. But to me, that would mean that they really.
Robinson's back. Here it is. BG keeps Merrill to let Zeev develop 2 years with McLean in that D mecca.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fucking Jesus Christ.
Great wishes that BG would have grabbed Marchand. What would you do if Brad Marchand signed in Minnesota as a free agent?
Party.
Be pretty fun.
Yep.
See, but that's different. He brings something different that warrants pushing someone out of the lineup. It's different.
I am curious to see, like, I mean, obviously we say this every year, but like, it does feel like they, in order to get ice time for these kids, like there are several pieces that need to be moved. And they're also talking about like, hey, we're going to probably need, just for insurance, to get another goalie too. Cause we don't with how up and down the Wallstedt year was in terms of injuries, like how fucked his roadmap was from the beginning of it. Like, obviously they're not wanting to like put all of their eggs in the basket of like, I think at this point they're comfortable with Gustafsson as a number one. You're going to be worried just given how the last year went with Wallstedt, like having that guy play 25 games, 30 games, like you can't be super confident. So like they're going to probably have to go out and like look for a third goalie just as insurance.
Well, you got to also look at the sample size of
but you're also paying him 2.1 next year.
Like you don't want Gustafsson playing too many games.
Right.
But yes.
But you gave up everything you gave up for Yersek. You need to have Bouillon in the lineup every night. Plus, you look at the forwards. Yurov's coming over. We'll see what happens. Ogren should be in that lineup. Like, there are several pieces that need to be moved.
Ace here. Who's more likely to be traded, Spurgeon or Brodin?
Wow. I feel like we've heard more about Spurgeon.
But that's because people want to bash on him because he's young or like small or because like, oh, someone else should be the captain, right? The reason I ask about both is because I feel like Brodin is going to get more of a return.
Who's been lighting it up at the Worlds, by the way? He's just scoring goals. He's
like you could actually get a solid return. Like imagine trading Brodin and Rossi somewhere. Now we're talking. Now we might cook. Hey, Stevie, why? Brodin is Swedish. Let's talk.
It's true.
But like, it's just interesting because everyone like brings up like, oh yeah, and Brodin or Spurgeon could potentially be traded. It's like, well, who would make more sense? Because I don't see a world where they trade both. Like you need one of them to kind of be there as the veteran presence, usher the kids in. and just be like a stabilizing force. Brodin, I think at this point is clearly the better player, but that also means that he returns more. And like, I'm not off Spurgeon. Like Spurgeon can play as long as he can stay healthy. I don't know. It's an interesting question. That's why I bring it up. I don't have the answer.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Good question for Ace.
Well done, Ace. But here's the thing. Britt James, a couple of comments ago so this is what's actually interesting, where it's like Britt James says, I honestly think the team is good the way it is. Just polish what you got. Hines' first full season to bring Wild top team in league plus best road team in league when the injury bug hit. Thing is, like,
garbage home team.
The thing is, like, it is true. Like before the injuries happened, which I mean, I think at this point we do have to pencil in that half the roster is going to be out for at least like 20 games, fucking every season. But I mean, like we talked about it too, like just this playoff series against Vegas, at no point did you feel like they got drastically outplayed in any of these games. To be honest with you, it is more so just like, hey, you got a bunch of young players who are appearing to be ready to take that next step in the NHL. So that's when that like moving those pieces to get those guys in the lineup, it does become like critical to like nail that. Where it's like, we need to have them in the right spot. We can't let them go just like bake in Iowa forever. And a couple of them are going to be upgrades over probably upgrades what you have, but you can't say that for sure because we haven't seen more than like 10, 15 games of any of them really. So that's where it becomes interesting too, where it's like, we want them to play the kids at the same time. Can like 5 of them come in right away next year? And you're just like, yeah, they're going to be your 82 games. I don't know. So that's where that question, they're in a really weird spot where it's like, hey, we're out of those major buyout years. At the same time, a lot of that money's spent. And like, do you really want to overhaul half the roster when, like, again, when they were healthy, they were cooking. They looked really good in the fucking playoffs. How much tinkering do you really want to do? I mean, tinkering is not even the right word. Like it's literally like an overhaul, because like the prospects that you want to be in the lineup next year, they're going to be playing big roles.
Yeah,
like specifically like special teams, dude. Booyum on that power play. Like he needs to come in and like give him the reins. Like let him grow into that role and drastically improve this power play. It's the first like month or two is gonna like he's gonna be adjusting still. Obviously,
well, dude,
he's going from college hockey to NHL.
Just having an off season with the team is gonna fucking help.
Right.
But yeah, fair. Well, so talk real quick, because I'm gonna go piss real quick because I'm about to pee my pants. But on the Booyum topic, like Minnesota Wild players at World Championships, talk about what you've seen from both Booyum and Spacek. And I think an important question is, can the two play together on a pairing? Or do you like, who do you see as the ideal pairing mates for both Booyum and Spacek if both of them are in that group of 6 next year?
Jiricek.
Oh, shit. He said Spacek. You're right. Jiricek's hurt. Booyum and Spacek for World Championships. Booyum and Jiricek for next year, how they fit. I'm an idiot. Proceed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Booyum's had a pretty limited role so far at the Worlds from the games that I've seen. I think he played like maybe 10 minutes today. I think the U.S. lost like 3-0 in Switzerland or whatever. And Spacek's just like, he was pretty good in Iowa this season. And then at the Worlds, like he always like elevates his play when he's playing with Czechia. Really interesting player. I mean, again, he's like 6 foot, 6'1", just under 200 pounds. He's got a really good shot. You know, 1 assist in 3 games at the Worlds this year, put up 31 points this year in Iowa. Intriguing player still. Like for me, for him to be an impact NHL guy, you really have to have him with the right partner. So I don't know. I don't think he's gonna be a full-time NHL player next year. I don't think he should be. Like I still have Jiricek ahead of him despite the injury. Especially when you consider how much you gave up. Like you drafted Spacek as an overager. You gave up 4 picks. in a prospect for Jiricek, and like realistically, again, like the way that he plays, his ability from the back end. That's another guy that can play on your power play. Like with Buium and Jiricek, those are two guys that you can rely on offense from the back end. Spacek, again, that's what I was just saying. Hoppy was like, Spacek had a pretty good year in Iowa for being like as good of a year as you can have in Iowa as a defenseman. I mean, like 30 points in 70 games. But yeah, for me, like I still have Jiricek ahead of him in the pecking order. Like before he got sent back down and before he got hurt, what did he play? How many games did Jiricek play? Because he was also inserted into this lineup when half of the fucking roster was injured. And he was going up against like Colorado, Winnipeg. Like it was like every game that I think he played Dallas too. And he looked really good. He was getting better each and every game. Despite like the roster being completely depleted. Yeah, 6 games. And like, I feel like he was noticeable as time went on. And I mean, like, I think by that 5th or 6th game, they had him out there for like 18, 19, 20 minutes. So for me, I still think Jiricek's just like, he's got the pedigree. There's a reason he was a top 5 pick. And again, considering how much you gave up for him, I still have him ahead of Spacek, like pretty consistently, like pretty like noticeably as far as like the pecking order goes. I mean, you're always going to be worried about throwing, whether it's Spacek, whether it's Jiricek and Buium together, you're always going to be worried about having like those two on the ice together. That being said, you're obviously leveraging like matchups and everything. But I mean, yeah, your Spacek, pretty good year in Iowa, all things considered. You gave up a ton for Jiricek, so again, you're going to really want him to be in the lineup day one next season. I think everyone knows that Williams should be at least. So you're going to be worried about playing them on the same pair. You're going to be worried about matchups. That's within your control, though. So I mean, like, will they play every single game? Who knows? Like, they still have Bogosian here another year too. So that's another guy that's like taking up a spot. I don't know, but like, and as I was saying before, like, right as you jumped off, like Williams played a pretty limited role with Team USA so far at the Worlds. Like, so it is what it is. But
can you see, like, who do they need to play with? I don't know if you answered that portion when I was gone, but like, if Buium and Jiricek are both in the group of 6, who do they need to play with to be effective?
So I think actually a way to answer that question too is like, I mean, I think at this point we can put Brock Faber with anybody, to be honest with you.
Agreed.
Like, I feel pretty comfortable that he's like your out and out, like, best overall defenseman anyways.
I'd rather put him with Jiricek.
2 righties.
Never mind.
But that frees up more options where it's like, you don't need, like, for me, we've always said like Middleton, he looks so different playing with someone like Jared Spurgeon versus any of the other defensemen they've had. So the fact that you can like move, I think, again, I actually realistically like would love to see like a Brodin and Jiricek. Again, like,
send you on
Jiricek's pretty close to just looking like an NHL defenseman already. Again, like, as we were saying, those 6 games, like, he looked really good and he fit in. So I'm actually not overly concerned about who he plays with. So at that point, do you like throw out Buium with Spurgeon? I don't know. Like,
well, no, at that point you got to put him with Faber because you need Spurgeon with Middleton, like we've seen. Like, Middleton with Faber, like, there were good times, but there was also not great times for Middleton.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun vibes line, especially with like Middleton, you know, famously referring to Faber as a milk bag.
So funny.
I love that. But yeah, it's interesting to talk about at the very least. Do we want to talk 2025 draft? I know we're going to do the European top 10 because we've pushed that off for so long that we have to cover that today. Do we want to talk about Wheeler and Pronman's mocks? Do we want to talk about like what you see for the top 10 to 12 based on now how the lottery fell, or is that being pushed?
We can push that one. We've pushed the other one long enough.
All right, so we're going European top 10. All right. Has your list changed at all?
No, if I was gonna change it, they would probably just be like the order with some of them, but like not drastically anyways, so it doesn't really matter.
All right, so we're gonna keep it that way. And yeah, Britt, to your point, Bogosian's gonna be a 7 or 8 alongside maybe Declan Chisholm. I don't even know if they'll keep him or not, but we'll see what happens there. All right, I'm gonna go in the order then that Mateo has lined out for us here with the graphics. You tell me if any of them are like wrong or off, whatever. You're looking like they are.
I'm getting my internet's very bad right now.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, there we go. All right, we're back.
All right, so when we talk European prospects, this is excluding Sweden. We already did the Sweden top 10. Anyone that hasn't seen that, check it out on the YouTube channel. It's there. This is the rest of Europe, because most years we would have a Finland top 10. We'd have a Russia top 10. There's just not enough from all of these different nations. We just combined them all and smacked them into one with Europe because they're pretty deficient across the board outside of Sweden. So without further ado, number 1 in these European top 10 for the 2025 NHL draft, we've got, is it Kurban Limatov?
Yeah. Not
your one? Did Mateo blow it?
He's a left shot defenseman. Not a right wing. He's not playing
Mateo, no.
He has the MHL logo too, which is so funny, and the Dynamo Moscow fucking logo in the background.
All right, well, hang on, let's stop. Is this your number 1 guy?
Yes.
Okay. Let's ignore the graphic. We're going to leave it up because it's funny. And we'll see if the second graphic's any better. And if it's not, then we're going to get rid of the graphics altogether. This guy, talk to me about this left-handed defenseman from Russia.
It's who I want to know.
Did you write this on? I'm going to check the document. If you wrote it this way, you need to give a full, wholehearted apology to Mateo.
I think he's got, this is like the little bio right there. That's definitely Eklund.
Okay, so maybe he just messed up this one and the rest of them will be good. We'll see. That's very funny. So this is just Eklund's bio. It is hockey Allsvenskan.
5'11", 161, Allsvenskan, tier 6 to 10, 9. Yeah, for sure. That's so funny.
That's awesome. All right, we'll see if the other ones are like this. But so, all right, who is it Kurban Limatov?
Kurban Limatov, yeah. He's a 6'3", 200-pound left shot D-man, very mobile defenseman, very fun. To me, should project right in that second round. Depending on like how teams feel about some of the other, like honestly, like some of the Swedes. I could see him going pretty early in round 2. Just given the tools, again, like at his size, how well he moves, he's really involved offensively and defensively. He's capable of playing huge minutes in the playoffs. In the MHL, he logged like 30 minutes a night. But he's a pro-sized D, super strong, pretty aggressive. Again, really good two-way results, really smart, good reads, good decision-making. Again, I do firmly believe that he should be going like right in the middle to potentially early second round. I think there's a lot of room for him to grow. I would have liked to have seen him play more like in the VHL or get some KHL games.
Sure.
But
remind me, sorry, is MHL lower than VHL?
It's the U20. It's Russian U20.
Okay.
So it's like the junior league. VHL is like the AHL. And then
got it.
KHL is obviously NHL. But really smart player, makes, again, really good reads. The fact that he's a 6'3", 200-pound guy who moves as well as he moves with that high hockey IQ. I really like him a lot. So I'm a big believer in this player. Really like him. Very fun to watch. And when he's really playing, like when he's in a groove, when he's like playing confidently, like he's noticeable pretty much every shift. So I like him. I like him a lot. I think I put him like, I think I put the tier 45 to 60. I probably lean more like 40-50 if I could change that.
If the Wild took him in the second round, how would you feel?
He's definitely different when you look at like the left shot Ds that they have, especially now. I wouldn't be
less for fit in the pool, more just like the value of player. Like, would you be happy with that, or is it like there's other guys that I'd be way happier about?
Well, I mean, obviously, this draft we have no idea how it's going to go.
The range, sure, fair.
But no, that's his range though. If they got him right in that, like in there with their second round pick, it'd be a good pick. But yeah, no, he's a good player. I like him a lot. Right. I love that bio. It's so fucking funny.
Let's see if the second one does the same thing. Right away, we're going to evaluate, is this real? We have Alexander Zhuravsky, League MHL, right wing, height 6'1", weight 163, draft tier 55 to 65. Are we back to Mateo's doing the right thing? All right, so living in infamy is Kurbin Limitov.
That raw.
Oh, he's going to listen back to this and be like, fuck me.
We're never going to see him again. He's going to delete his Twitter account.
Yeah, he will never talk to us again. His social media no longer exists. He's blocked my phone number. Alexander Zhuravsky, what do we need to know about this guy?
Really, really talented player. Super skilled. It's got a great shot. Scored some beautiful goals. And I mean, he started off this year pretty limited role in the MHL, and as the year went on, he started gaining more trust, and they started using him more and more. But goal scorer, he's capable of like making plays as well. And like again, he's another player when he's like when he's like playing confidently, he's in a really good like stretch of games. He is a human highlight reel. So super intriguing player. Definitely came on as the year went on. He's very fun to watch. He needs to get bigger. Like he needs to get bigger and stronger. Like obviously he's got the height now. He's a bit of a beanpole at 163. But he is like skating's pretty good. Again, needs to get stronger, but when he is on, one of the most skilled players coming out of Russia this year. Again, makes a lot of really highlight reel plays. Very fun. I like him a lot. I think he's probably late second, early third type player. I think I put him 55, 65. Probably close like the 60, 65. But again, like just another player where it's like, yeah, every once in a while in games, like he might be drifting in and out, not super noticeable. Then all of a sudden he's capable of just making a highlight reel play. Again, when he's playing like confident, he's like really in the zone, dialed in. He's capable of taking over games. So he's really fun to watch.
Love that. So being a late second, early third, this is not a guy that qualifies for Carolina Hurricanes target.
Oh, I'm sure it will be like in the 6th round. This is every time, dude. It's insane.
But usually it's the guy that's like right at the end of the first, beginning of the second, and they get him in the middle of the second, and you're like, oh, fucking.
Oh, they'll pull some shit off. Yeah, they'll
Probably,
do it again.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Moving on to number 3 then. We have Semyon Frolov playing in the MHL, goalie 6'3", 203. What do we think about this guy?
Yeah, he's legit. I mean, obviously with goalies, like your favorite thing to say is they're voodoo, who knows, but moves really well in his crease, really aggressive, anticipates plays really well, rarely gets beat from that first shot. The only time he kind of at times can get lost a little bit is just like depth adjustment. When there's tons of traffic out front, he can like that's when like the gaps show up a little bit, but like I mean he's put up legit numbers this year. MHL is always tough to gauge, especially for goalies, but at the same time, how well he moves, how athletic he is. I mean, for a goalie, he's not the biggest dude in the world, but I mean, still 6'3", whatever. But I mean, 205, 915 save percentage. He was pretty good. So I like him a lot. I think, again, like that, his anticipation, his ability to stop that first puck, rebound control, really good. He's legit. So I wouldn't be shocked to see like there's always that one point in the draft when you just start seeing that like run on goalies. He's gonna be one of those first names probably right off the board. He's legit. I like him.
Where does he rank? Because admittedly, like obviously you know way more about draft prospects than me, but goalies I basically ignore because I know nothing about goalie prospects. Like I know way more once they're playing in the AHL, NHL. Where does he rank among goalies in this draft?
Probably trying to think. Ravensburgen, Ivan Kovic, definitely gonna go before him. I mean, there's another goalie in this top 10 that might even go before him too. Probably around 5, 6.
So he's pretty far down as far as the goalies are concerned, which is crazy if you've got him kind of in that second, third range.
Ivan Kovic and Ravensburgen are going to be...
I know Ravensburgen.
At least one of them's going probably in the first round. I'd anticipate...
Where's Ivan Kovic out of?
Oh, God, which...
I don't know him. I know Ravensburgen.
Well, it's interesting because I think I mostly... I mean, as far as like it's smart scouting and then even other scouting places or whatever, they've like pretty consistently had Ravensburgen ahead of Ivan Kovic, but like Team Canada's been aggressively taking Ivan Kovic, starting him at all their like Team Canada events for juniors. So that's going to be interesting to see if like scouts feel the same way, but like, oh yeah, Ivan Kovic, he's playing Mississauga. Well, whatever, Brampton Steelheads now.
Okay.
With Martone.
Porter, who is famously offered a lot of money from Penn State. But we'll move on.
Yeah, that blows my mind, but whatever. We can't.
Good for Penn State. Capitalizing on their Frozen Four bid. I have no idea. It's crazy seeing some of the things that are happening with college hockey. I'm gonna wait until it all settles out to even like really weigh in, but we'll see where it goes. Number 4. Danil Prokhorov, which Danil spelled Daniil is awesome. Last name being Prokhorov is way more Russian, but way less cool than Boot. So we'll go off that. But a right wing out of the MHL, 6'6", 209. Did Mateo mess that up, or is that a mutant?
It's accurate.
Mutant. Talk about him.
Fascinating player. I am so curious to see where he goes because with how ridiculously skilled he is, how big he is, and how hard he competes, he is going like NHL scouts are going to be like, what are we not going to take him first overall? I mean, have you seen how big that fucking guy is? He is an out and out goal scorer, like goals, not necessarily like a crazy playmaker, but my God, can he shoot a puck? He, again, like his motor, like he's not the greatest skater in the world. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but like, again, super high compete level, hits everything that fucking moves if he gets there. And he's got ridiculous hands for a guy his size. And like, it's interesting too, because it's like he's one of those guys where it takes a little bit, obviously, to get to full speed, but like he's capable, but he's at top speed of making just like these sick plays with his hands. Again, he can shoot through traffic. Like he's very fun to watch. Again, I have a feeling he's gonna go earlier than maybe like I'd be comfortable taking him, just given the fact that he's 6'6". Sniper, great shot, can score from distance. Foot speed's going to be a big question. He's got some legit hands. Skating's a problem. But he competes hard. He's 6'6". He scores goals. NHL teams are going to fucking love him. So I wouldn't be shocked if if you hear his name called like that second round, potentially, to be honest with you. I would be very worried if I was going to, like, let's say if you don't have a first and like you're like picking late in the second round and this is a bold one. You're swinging for the fences, but he's very fun to watch. Again, he got to play a couple playoff games. I think he's like half a goal per game in the playoffs with St. Petersburg. So
is that good?
It's an interesting player for a young guy. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I don't know.
Right.
It's a risky one. You're swinging for the fences if you take him too early on day 2, but at the same time, like 6'6", wires a puck, plays super direct north-south, super high compete level, loves to throw hits. Like NHL teams are gonna fucking love him. And he's very fun to watch. So see how it goes.
Look at that fucking Adam's apple.
not quite the fucking Tyler Myers, but you know,
the neck on Tyler Myers is unmatched.
No
one is more suited to be the spokesperson for Toys R Us, RIP in peace, than Tyler Myers. Number 5 on your rankings, Wojtek Shahar.
I don't even know how to actually say it.
Who weirdly looks extremely North American.
He looks like a Disney fucking.
He looks like Tyler Sagan when he was like 15. Czech Extra League.
Yeah.
Right wing, 6'1", 187. Z, you've got him going somewhere in that like 3rd round. What do we need to know?
I really like this guy. Again, played pro in Czechia this year. It's a really hard league to play in. Put up a couple points there. Like he played at the World Juniors this year in a pretty limited role, but like he played really well there. Plays through contact, fucking great shot. Always moving. He's got really good offensive instincts. I like him a lot. I think there's a ton of room for him to grow. I think like he's gonna be one of those guys that's like give him a couple years to develop, and I think he hits the NHL and has a pretty decent impact forward. I think he's gonna be a goal scorer. He's capable of making plays. He's really fucking smart. The fucking NHL Central Scout, I think, loves him. I think they had him like top 5 European skaters, I think. If I remember correctly, but he's just solid again, like can play quick too, like always has like a plan B if like that first option closes out or like isn't there for him. He's really good as far as making adjustments on the fly, plays quick. I really like him a lot. So I think there's a ton of room for him to grow, and the fact that he's playing pro in Czechia this year is impressive.
All right, moving on to number 6. We've got Maxim Agafonov, MHL right-handed defenseman, 6'2", 198. Again, roughly a 3rd round draft projection from Z. What do we need to know?
He's another intriguing one. Again, he's got the pro size. He's also got yes.
How do you not read this as Maxim Afinogenov? How can you not?
That's a good point. But right shot D, 6'2", right under 200 pounds. He's a decent enough skater, but like his defensive instincts are pretty far along. Like he's gonna be able to I think he's gonna be able to step in the league pretty quick. I mean, he's got really nice flashes where he's a really good puck mover, super mobile as far as like getting the puck up the ice or whatever. But really solid defender against the rush, in zone. Again, like just advanced defensive abilities. So I like him a lot. Plays really well with his stick, breaks up plays, again, both off the rush and in zone. I think you'd like to see him like play with a little bit higher tempo at times, but at the same time, I think he's a really solid project defenseman. I think he's going to be able to step in, and he probably projects as a 4 or 5 guy. Again, like you're going to use him on your PK, and just his ability to defend at the level that he defends at right now is really good, really impressive. Just a smart defenseman. Probably more room for him to grow offensively, but we'll see how that goes. He's intriguing, but he's also super physical too. He likes to throw the weight around. He's fun.
That does sound fun. All right, moving on to number 7 then. We've got Lasse Boelius.
By far the top Finn, at least as far as not overagers go.
As far as names go.
Yeah, great name. Another puck moving D-man, super high-end skill. He's actually like, I think there's been a few games where I've watched this year where it's like if they go like his club team and Team Finland too, if they end up in a shootout, he's like one of the first 3 skaters that they'll throw out there. Does not hesitate to join the rush. Really loves jumping up on offense. Defends the rush pretty well as well. Really intriguing player. I think another one that you just give him plenty of time to develop. He's capable of playing a ton of minutes. He's been really fucking good for Finland. Like when he goes up and plays for Team Finland, he's one of those guys that's like excelled with his national team. And then like there's a little bit consistency issues with his club team. At the same time, like there's been stretches where he's just been playing 30, 32 minutes. I think again, his defensive ability is really in the rush because how well he moves his feet. He's one of the better skating defensemen in this draft. So I think he's a guy that like there's plenty of runway if you let him develop. He's got some upside there, especially just given how skilled he is. He can quarterback a power play really well. But he doesn't necessarily lack like crazy, like there's no huge defensive deficiencies or anything. But he's one that's really fun. I like him a lot. Again, like we saw just like a few peaks and valleys this year, but definitely intriguing the top fin out of this in this draft class.
Is this the furthest down that the top fin has been in quite some time?
Yeah,
like it's crazy that
class. Yeah,
like I can't remember the last time that like the first fin drafted was third round at best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. He's really, again, like with how skilled he is. And I mean, again, like he's 6'1", 190. He's going to keep getting bigger too. His ability to play like in motion is really good. So he's definitely one that you could see you take him with like third, fourth round pick, let him marinate in Finland for a little bit longer, bring him over. I like him a lot. So he's fun. He's a fun player.
Fair enough. Moving on to number 8. We have Pyotr Andreanov. Another goalie. Only 6'2" though. Move on.
It's got to be terrible.
He looks the most serious, by the way. Like this is a guy that I'm like, you're KGB and you're gonna kill me.
Yeah, he's like, whatever.
Anyone that's listening on the podcast, you need to go to YouTube just for this picture.
Yeah. You draft him and you're like, yeah, you want 1A next year, 82 games. You got it, pal. No problem. Absolutely. Just don't hurt me. He put up ridiculous numbers this year for Krasnaya Armina. I mean, like, he was 23, 6-6 with a 942, three shutouts. He's intriguing. I think maybe me putting like the tier at 100 plus might be a little bit cruel because I think he's actually closer to Frolov than I probably should have put it. But I mean, again, like fills a net, he moves. His ability to move in the crease is like uncanny. Like he is super athletic. He's capable of making like those really solid saves, good hands. Again, just the fact that he's as athletic as he is. He's put up some big time performances in the MHL this year. Incredibly consistent all year long, obviously, when you look at the record and how many games he won. I think like of all, I think they may have won 10 games without him in the net. I have to go look at it again, but yeah, super consistent, really good numbers. Again, how athletic he is, free to play well. He's legit, I think. But it's goalie, so who knows? I guess. But he's been impressive. I mean, you just can't argue.
Marc-Andre Fleury doll. That's our voodoo doll.
I like that. 2024, 25 stats, 1.7 goals against, 12 assists. He didn't have 12 assists.
Or
12A. 12A is funny. I don't know why, but I'm like, yeah, he's just on the power play. They're putting him at the top.
He just whips him down the ice. Someone chases it down. Doesn't matter. We're not here to criticize Mateo. Moving on to number 9, Jan Chauvin. Did I get that right? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, God damn. We need to do a bit, by the way, where I'm going to get like a list of like 20 names. I'm going to have Isha read them all and try and pronounce them. And then you're going to come in afterwards and I'm going to give them all to you and you're going to pronounce them the correct way. And we'll have those queued up for our draft stream where like, it'll be like Isha trying to pronounce it. And then here's how it actually sounds.
Yeah.
It'll play well.
And then it'd be like halfway to be like, by the way, there was a fight last night in Bulgaria. And these guys are
what this guy's name is. I saw him fight some dude.
And let me tell you, you haven't heard anyone.
Story.
You know he got signed. He fought a Russian in the parking lot.
It is a very cool story, in fairness.
It is. I know it does rock. That's why we love.
All right, so Jan Chauvin is a forward from Europe. 6'3", 187. What else do we need to know?
Yep. 6'3", power forward. He's a Slovakian playing for Tappara in Finland. He's got really good hands, capable of making plays. His like ceiling projection just comes down to just betting on the sides and is like how good he is, like his ability to be on the forecheck, win pucks. He's super physical, but again, he does give you that added upside with some like skill. He's got a good shot. He can score goals. I just think he's a really smart player. He's definitely another one where he's got a long runway to the NHL, but I think he does get there and becomes a really solid middle six contributor. You can probably use him up and down the lineup as well. Again, he can play center, he can play wing, but like a relentless forechecking, super physical guy that can win pucks, create possession, and he gives you that added offense as well. And just another guy who's his motor just is it doesn't stop. Like he is just, once he jumps over the boards, he plays at one speed, relentless compete level, relentless on the forecheck. So he's got that part of the game down. So, and then you just add in the size and like how smart he is, and the added upside with like the puck skills, playmaking ability at times. He should be able to be like a solid third line contributor. Plays at both ends of the ice, can kill penalties for you. Solid player.
Nice. Brings us number 10 out of 10. Wrapping it up, we've got
Roman. Look at this motherfucker.
Bausov, right-handed defenseman in the MHL, 6'6", 190, which holy shit is he a string bean. What can you tell us? He also, look at his face. He looks like he is 35 years old.
Yeah. I mean, you have a right shot D that's 6'6", solid skater, and hasn't really even begun to tap in necessarily to like any kind of like offense, but like he does show flashes where he's got good hands, he's got good instincts, he's got a decent shot from the point as well. But his ability to like move at his size, he just suffocates plays, kills rushes like when they happen or in the lead up. He's intriguing. I think again, he's probably going to be a guy that's going to go.
Like, why is he 4th, 5th round based on everything you just said? Like, that's a guy that should be salivated over.
Well, it's like this year has been the one year they really like was somewhat noticeable. And again, it's like not necessarily like super consistent, but like this is the first year we've seen him like willing to try things offensively, outside of just being like the like kill plays, stop rushes, and then like whatever, move the puck up the ice. We've seen him like experiment with his tools a little bit more this year. It's just we haven't seen it as often, or there's not like the long track record. So again, he's intriguing. I know like the NHL teams do love him. From like people that we've talked to, like there are a lot of scouts that really like him just because he moves as well as he does at 6'6", and he defends the rush as well as he does. And again, like this year specifically, he's at least experimented with the tools every once in a while. So he's gonna go like probably, to be honest, like mid-round guy, 4th round maybe. But again, the fact that he's as big as he is, defends as well as he defends, and moves as well as he moves at that size, like it's going to be a big time intriguing piece for a lot of NHL teams. And again, like we've talked to plenty of scouts who are like, really like that Bausov guy, and we're like, is it because he's 6'6" and he's a right shot? Like maybe that might have something to do with it, but he's intriguing, so we'll see. I think one of my buddies wrote a scouting report, and it's like, I'm not going to touch on the fact that he's 6'6" and he's a right shot, but people should know that. I was like, that's a very funny way to start this. Like, what a very funny fucking first couple of sentences of the scouting report.
I like that.
I'm not going to talk about that, but I think people should know this. But yeah.
Fun. We got to wrap then with just a couple of comments that need to be addressed. And if anyone else has anything like very noteworthy, comment now, but
cue him up real quick. I got to pee.
Got to pee?
Oh, yeah.
We'll go pee.
I'm just kidding.
Go. Run. I'll throw up this one first from Ben B. guy at my work mentioned trading Rossi plus Trenyan and some picks / prospects for Shane Wright and Jared McCann. Thoughts? By the time Z's back, I promise you he will probably pee himself laughing at this, even though he's already peed. I do love the idea of going after Jared McCann. That being, of course, I'm a noted Pittsburgh Penguin guy. I've never been more upset with the Penguins organization than getting rid of Jared McCann. I was furious the way they got rid of him. And I'm not convinced he's a center. I think he is still better as a wing. But god damn, can that guy play and can he score goals? Shane Wright's not going anywhere. They're not trading him. I don't care what you're adding in with Rossi and Trenyan as far as picks and prospects. They are not trading Wright, especially not paired with Jared McCann for anything the Wild would offer. Just want to be clear, Ben. Tell the guy at your work, no chance, period, this happens. Though it is funny, and I don't know if Z's listening right now while he's going to the bathroom, but Russo, when he came on with Joe and I for Fellowship of the Ring, which anyone that doesn't already, follow, subscribe on whatever your preferred podcast platform is. I mentioned maybe being cheeky, maybe they were showcasing Rossi and Trenyan with their chemistry to try and get you do have wired in headphones, so you didn't hear this. All right, so I mentioned with Russo when he came on with us last week that maybe, just maybe, Rossi and Trenyan were played together to showcase their chemistry so that you could package them in a trade. And Russo literally stopped and said, all right, I might be okay with a Rossi trade then. Just to showcase his disdain for poor Yakov Trenyan. But the question was from Ben B. Guy at my work mentioned trading Rossi plus Trenyan and some picks / prospects for Shane Wright and Jared McCann. Thoughts? I won't tell you what I replied already to Ben. You just tell me your thoughts.
I sure. I mean, I don't know.
Sure as in that's realistic, or sure as in you would take it?
I mean, I feel like Seattle would be like, what else are you adding?
It'd be like, yeah, picks and prospects aren't going to do it.
Yeah.
I do think that Jared McCann would be an interesting trade target, but I'm still convinced that he is not a center. I think he is way more functional as a wing in the NHL.
Yeah.
I love him dearly.
Yeah, I think he can play center if he's not the one having to drive the line.
Fair.
Basically playing with Kaprizov is what that would mean.
That could do it.
Which would do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would be shocked if Seattle would be down with that. Shane Wright looked really good when he finally got.
They're not trading Shane Wright.
So, yeah.
Cosgrove, Seattle does dumb shit all the time. Why not one more time? This is a valid argument.
You know
I
what?
take everything back.
Making a lot of good points, this guy.
They do a lot of dumb shit. This last one, if no one else chimes in before we go, from Trav Zimmerman. Who would you rather get into a drinking contest against? Brett Hull or Keith Tkachuk? I have a very direct answer, so I need to hear what you think.
I'm losing to both of them.
Correct.
So I think I would lean towards Keith Tkachuk. I think Hully would be immediately out of control and just screaming. And I think Walt would be like more conversational and like funny, like coherent. Brett Hull would be like,
no, you nailed it though. I'm with you. I think that Hull could drink all of us under the table.
I'd like to observe. I would like to observe while interacting with Walt.
Drink plenty, but Keith is going to be the one that, like, let's just say we're going 10 beers deep. Hull can keep on going, but he is going to already be belligerent, whereas Keith's like cordial, right? But if we're going who can do 20 or 30, Keith is going to pass out before Hull does, right?
Maybe. Yeah, that would.
Now, if we're saying who can do the most in like Calgary or Florida's rink, it's Brady Tkachuk.
That's a great point as well. I'm almost like I'd almost be afraid of doing beers with Brett Hull because I'd be like, I'll be shocked if we don't end up in jail, and by we I mean me because I'm not famous. So.
I mean, let's be real though. You're gonna know that he is beyond himself the second he goes, glory, Gloria.
Well, I mean, people should remember he literally didn't even make it to the first period before there was a picture of him when the Bruins were playing the Blues in the Cup final. He is on the glass during warm-ups like this. Fuck yeah! Or I was like, oh my God, we're fucked.
Dude, their parade was way better when he just goes up to the mic and does exactly that. He's like walks up and the first thing he says is, glory, Gloria.
Like, that's not even
Gloria.
right.
I think I got your number.
Terrible.
He was so fucking dinged up. It was great.
It's insane.
I needed him to get YP's chinchilla. That would have capped it all.
Yeah.
I can't believe that he snuck a chinchilla into a hockey rink, by the way. That's impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive stuff.
There's a lot of credit. Also, I haven't seen anything from him in like the past several years, so I don't know if he's still alive.
I don't know. I have no idea where he ended up after.
He always does stuff with like wild animals, so he might have been eaten.
That's true.
Could have been Steve Irwin. Who knows?
It's a real one.
Anything else you wanted to hit on though? Because I know we're passing on mock drafts until next week, which we for sure have to hit on then. Anything from the series that have been going on? Anything that's just randomly happening? We have to talk about it. Partially negative, but also partially positive for you. The Boston Bruins cannot possibly hire Joel Quenneville. So kudos to you. Happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
Ducks hired him. Thoughts?
Talk what? Oh, Ducks hired him. I think we talked about this a little bit last week.
He wasn't hired yet, was he?
I think it was like
it was speculative.
This is basically done.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
I mean, like, yeah, no, but like, I don't know. It was like, it was one of those where I was sitting there like, I feel like there's a lot of other coaches out there who've been coaching, who don't come with the baggage, don't come with the PR hit. Anytime you have to make a hire and immediately put out a press release, what are you doing? Same time. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how. We'll just see.
What's the weird
to me though? I was like, all right. Like just on the coaching part of it, like again, I was just sitting there like, I'm fine, whatever. Obviously, again, it's the PR stuff where it's like this is like an annoying part of the analysis that we have to make now. But I mean, like, someone just put in there like Bowman is a fucking GM right now, so like, whatever.
That's my real question though. What's the weirder hire, Bowman or Quenneville?
Bowman to me was the weird one. I was like, what the fuck? Why?
What has he done to prove himself? Also, Ken Holland is rumored to be front runner for LA Kings. How? How is he a front runner for that? How?
Yeah. That's another one where it's like, can we not be a little bit more creative, fellas? Like, come on, man. I'm like, because I do hate when like inevitably a coach that's been around or a GM that's been around for a long time gets hired and we have to do like the week-long thing of like, oh, the retread, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, guys, like we get it. Like this is just how this works. But like in those instances, I'm like, yep, this is a legit conversation where it's like, yeah, I have no idea what the fuck we're doing. This is very annoying. It is an old boys club, which is just crazy. So like, I don't get it. Whatever. I mean, I fully was like, Ken Holland sounded like he wanted to be done. I was like, he's like, I'm all set. And then he like leaves hockey for a couple months. He's like, you know what though? I actually want to come back forever. So Who knows? I don't know.
Imagine if he ended up in Boston, though. How bad would it have been?
No. I can't even go. I can't even get there.
Sure.
But yeah, no, it is. It's like these hires that it's like, yeah, we have to keep this conversation alive. Like, because it's just what happens. But, yeah.
Thanks a lot, David Carl.
He did what I said that's what I would do. I'd be like, dude, I have the fucking thing. This is great.
How about the rumor that, and this is complete rumor, but he's basically like, I'll wait until the Colorado job opens up and then I'll take that so I don't have to move.
I love that baller move on his part. Yeah, I mean, again, this motherfucker just has it. Like, he's got the perfect gig for him. Like,
we'll see how that goes this year when he doesn't have some of his studs and CHL enters the equation.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like, I am skeptical. I'm not questioning his ability as a coach. I'm questioning how the recruiting landscape has completely changed.
Yeah, fair. Denver's always, as long as they're always going to be like a hot spot for recruits anyways. Like, that's always going to be a good place to go. And we'll see if they dip into the CHL market.
I mean, you almost have to at this point if Michigan brings in like 50 of them.
I know. Cade Lindstrom back, by the way.
Crazy.
Scored the other night. 1-1 now that the WHL finals.
How's our boy Ryder Ritchie looked?
He's been solid again. He had points, at least 1 point in that first game against Spokane. Game 2 was held off the score sheet, but Gavin McKenna also snapped his 54 game point streak.
What, 54?
It doesn't even sound like it should be humanly possible.
What was it, like 100 something points?
4,000 points in 50 games, dude. It's unbelievable. He is insane, but hopefully that one goes 7. That was their second loss of the playoffs this year. Medicine Hat last night.
Wow.
But
who's your front runner for the Mem Cup?
I'd probably still lean Medicine Hat.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Over who?
Maybe Moncton.
Oh.
Yeah. Desnoyers had this a fucking insane assist the other night. It was a joke. Like, it's always tough.
Do you think that Desnoyers is still like hovering 4 or 5, or do you think he's in the 1 to 3 discussion?
I don't think I would say he's 3 to 5.
Okay.
Depending, I guess, like, a part of me is like, there's a decent to solid chance he goes before both Higgins and Martone.
Well, no, Higgins is going to go first overall.
Given there's no way that the Islanders don't take Schaefer. They can't not take Schaefer.
No, they're taking Higgins.
Yeah, whatever. He's from New York. He's from Long Island.
Hey, has he ever worn Leafs pajamas? Because I bet Schaefer has.
Maybe.
I'm just saying.
It's fair. But given how the lottery, which by the way, that was insane the way the lottery ended up. That's annoying as fuck.
Weird. Hang on. They did a lottery live, and New York, Pittsburgh, and Chicago all didn't win it. Weird how that works.
Conspiracy, let's go.
Hey, Pittsburgh Penguins fan here. I admit that shit was fucking rigged for Crosby. I don't care.
Yeah, but
I also admit that Bedard was rigged to Chicago. Let's be fucking honest with ourselves here.
Mm-hmm.
And weird, it's live, and we see both Utah and New York Islanders jump. Weird how that works.
A million spots.
Boston, Pittsburgh both dropped 2 spots.
I literally was like, there's no chance Boston goes up, but whatever. Who knows? They've got some guys that are going to be available.
Hey, I'll trade you 11 for 7.
Oh, okay. Straight up. Absolutely.
Wait, how fun is that we're 7-11? We need beers.
Was there earlier.
Oh, man. Anything else we missed?
I would be shocked.
I will say, like, just as a light transition out, if we're talking playoffs, which I got to throw up the Mateo graphic because it makes you so happy.
Love it.
People that are trying to shit on Carolina for the Rantanen trade are just dead wrong.
Yeah, no, again, like, as more came out about, like, the whole, I was like, yeah, they were pretty much, like, they had limited options.
But people are like, oh, wouldn't you rather have him as, like, an own rental and, like, see the way he's scoring? Like, no, because you literally turned Drury and Natchez into Stankoven, Hall, and several draft picks. You take that every fucking time and say thank you. And Logan Stankoven is a fucking stud. Be thankful.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have.
And the only thing I'll add to that is like Taylor Hall's been so fucking good for them. And I'm very happy because he deserves to like be in a spot that he's happy in and is playing well. And actually not super surprised that it's been like that good of a fit as he's finally like first like 4 or 5 games he was clearly adjusting from like the fucking shit of Chicago to playing that Carolina style, but he can play a million miles an hour. He's flying around. Good for him.
Good for him. Let's see anything here. Caps just scored 2-1. That is a little surprising. But I don't know, man. I think we covered it all. Anything else you want to hit on, or are we donezo?
I think that's it. Anyone that's stuck around this whole time, you should go to jail.
Just remember, Vegas against Edmonton series. Thad Castle. Cocaine!
Cocaine!